you know, I didn't want to have to live stream tonight, but I did want to jump online and talk to my live chat so that you guys can help me figure out what happened. So, I mean, I guess I have to give people a little bit of time to come in. Hey, Rachel. My Red Bull. Walk in there, grab it for me. Because now I'm stuck to my desk and I can't get it. Which is okay, because I want to. Hey, Cool Gamer. Hey, Terry. Hey, Scarlett. Hey, Queen. Hey, Strin. Good to see ya. Kathy, of course, doing great work with your channel. Doing great stuff. I'm going to have to feature some of your stuff here coming up soon. Really like the fact that you decided to start creating, so excellent stuff. I got the Keemstar thing going on for this Thanksgiving, but like it's starting to rebel on me. It wants to point that way. And I'm like, Beard, what are you doing? Stop that. Okay. So here's what's up. Molly has decided to go live and throw a big hissy fit. Well, a hissy fit masked in sarcasm over the Watts family home. Now, the thing about the Watts family situation, most of you guys know I avoid stories, or at least I try to stay on the periphery, like the far outside of stories, if they involve children and tragedies involving children directly. It's a choice I make because my audience very early on, like years and years ago, told me that, you know, those kinds of stories would remind them of things that happened in their life. And that's why I didn't really absorb a lot of the Watts story. So I decided this would be the perfect time for me to go live, give you a little bit of a breakdown on what happened, and then get your opinion on it. And also have you guys tell me more about what you think are the important parts of the Chris Watts, W-A-T-T, I believe, the Watt story, where a mother and children were brutally bad things happened. Sorry, we're not into the stream enough for me to be able to say keywords. You guys know what happened there. What I'd like to do is actually go and look at the record, maybe Wikipedia, or maybe just a site that aims to give us the current, like, you know, agreed upon timeline of this story. Because, again, just so that none of you get confused in case you're wandering from just the greater part of YouTube into one of my live streams, I'm not going to be covering these stories. I'm not a true crime YouTuber, though I have covered true crime in breaking down some mysteries I used to talk about, like the Boston's mysterious vanishing men. But anyway, I'm covering the way that the YouTubers make money, exploit, lie about, or run narratives on certain stories. And we've found ourselves, of course, doing what we do, which I've finally gotten a pretty good catch-all kind of hashtag for what we do online. We bust scams. So from now on, you're going to see some of my new artwork and things I'm working on. Scam busting is going to be at the top of the channel, because whether we're talking about, you know, a lie of a conspiracy theory type of thing and busting it, or whether it's a fraud raiser, whether we're exposing charity scams, whether we're exposing an internet scam, or whether we're complaining about people hacking and cheating in video games, which was one of my biggest PUBG videos back in the day, hundreds of thousands of views on that one. The whole thing behind this channel and my brand has always been busting scams, discussing scams, and just generally talking about these kind of things happening in front of our eyes. So, oh, that's some Coca-Cola poured on top of big old ice cubes. Oh, baby. That's good stuff. So, now also, happy Thanksgiving, because tomorrow is Thanksgiving. So I hope you all have a great day. And I don't know if I'm going to be streaming tomorrow because I got some family stuff to do. And if I get home and I'm not exhausted, if I haven't eaten myself into a food coma when I get home, I'm probably going to go live. If I am a little exhausted, we might just hang out and not really do a show. But you never know. I could get crazy tomorrow and come in here and bust out a banger. No, though I haven't been asking you guys to like my videos. Make sure you like the video. At the end of the day, No, regardless of what we're doing, we're almost hitting 100 likes. We might as well break that barrier and get moving to the moon. So if you like the content we're doing, make sure you stop by and hit the like button for me, and let's roll right into what Molly did last summer. Actually, last night. Well, a few summers ago too, but okay, let's go. Hello, Jacqueline. Hello, everybody. Hey, Aussie Trisha. Hello, Monroe. Good to see you. Hello, Hope. Navy. You know you're welcome in here if you want, buddy. Okay. Now, I do have a video. I guess, would it be unfair? It'd be unfair if I didn't open with a little bit of fair use video content here. Wow, we got a whole bunch of stuff I can show you. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Wow. So, like, there's these posts about Flava getting paid blood money. I'm just reading it. I ain't saying it happened. I don't know if they're lying or not. Here's an excerpt. God, where did so much stuff comes in? I could literally live stream all day for you and have all kinds of stuff to show you. Let me show you this thing that just popped up. Let me address this for everyone who is believing the narrative. Let me be very clear and specific. Flava, Alicia, am not in secret group or participating in any friendship with MGL. This is the stupidest childish behavior I've ever seen. I owned up and apologized to her for one reason, and that was calling her son's school because I shouldn't have went real life. I can completely respect that. In fact, if you don't do that anymore, which you seem like you won't, and you fix that behavior about yourself, as much as I try to kind of like talk about YouTubers who do these kind of things, that, going real life in that way or whatever, the fact that you're apologizing for it and that you will hopefully not do it again. I'm sure that's what it says here soon. I will give you props for that. Let's hope, because listen, hear me out. Hold on. You got to hear me. Hold on. You got to hear me out. I don't know if this is Flava, because it's Flava in parent. Let me just put the dang thing on the screen. I was going to show you a video and then go into it with you, and then I get distracted easily. You guys know I get distracted easily. You know this about me. Anyway, here's the deal. Whether it's Flava or whoever they're talking about here, to be honest, all I want is for you guys to succeed. I mean that. I've been on these YouTube streets for a long time, okay? I'm that old dude rocking in a rocking chair on the street corner where all the skyscrapers are, downtown. And been running these YouTube streets for a long time. I got good advice I can give you. In fact, I tried to give a community the advice a couple years ago that they shouldn't be doing those kind of things. Going real life, basically. This one was over an R report, but regardless, you guys recall that I was trying to give them that advice because they seemed as if they wanted to be YouTubers or do this regularly. And while a lot of people will talk shit about how I don't get really big views all the time like I used to, the thing that most people notice about me is when I provide content, I have a returning audience base. And what I'd like is to be able to give anyone that wants to try the advice on how they can do that without it taking years like it took me. So if you really are trying to be on the platform, have people that come and give you their opinion and hear your opinion, the best thing you can do is be honest with them, admit when you make a mistake, and fix it and move on. Because if you don't, and you do what those people did years ago, where they did the whole R report thing and they've done nothing but doubled and tripled and quadrupled down until they've ran their entire community into the ground. Nobody watches them. Nobody listens to them. Nobody gives a shit about anything they got to say because they want to sit and cry about how other people are bad people every time, saying, trust me, bro, I don't have any evidence. I'm just going to claim things. But at the same time, they're willing to try to shame an R victim by pulling their report using false pretenses and then monetizing it on YouTube and then defending it for years. So this is the best way to go. I'm not ever saying someone can't mess up. If you guys go and consistently listen to my commentary, and this is going to be boring, but I need to say it, over in 20 seconds. You go and listen to my commentary since we started talking about this subject. You'll hear me continually telling Molly and the other people involved why it's important for them not to rip off their audience, lie to their audience, abuse their audience, dox their audience, go after their audience, or do any of this crazy stuff. And the thing is, yes, it's for the audience and for other YouTubers, but mainly it's for you. It's for Molly. It's for the creator doing it, because you will lose the respect of the people. Now, in a year and 5 years, when you go in and you try to go into some story and commentate on something going on in a new community, you will be laughed out of that community. They're going to say, wait a minute, isn't that the person that pulled the R report and then still acts like that was okay and has never apologized for it correctly or done anything there in that thing to do that? And then you're going to get laughed out of that community every time, and it's going to ruin your chances on YouTube. Okay, the one thing he's always, every time I have a new topic that we hit, you guys know what they do. They try to go in and dig up all the secrets on Uni. And the fact of the matter is, everything I've done is out there. There's no secret to be dug up. There's no thing like that out there, because we correct our wrongdoings, right? If I got a story wrong, I came back and apologized. If something ended up being different than how it seemed, I admitted it, because I, again, don't have a dog in the fight with these stories. What do we care? The best scenario could have been Letitia made $1 million, helped her family, and everybody was happy in the end, right? Why in the world would anyone care about that? We just want you to know the truth. And because a lot of times when people are scamming and lying to get their cash, to get their money, or to fool you into thinking something, they don't want you knowing that truth, because it's going to work against their goals. Got me? They're not going to profit. They're not going to have that luck if that's the case. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know what I'm saying. But let's get back to this post. I have no clue what this is about, and then we're going to roll into this video and the Watts thing, and then okay. Now here's what I want to do. Oh, Navy, you are in here. What's up, dude?
What's going on, Bubba?
I'm going to open the Q&A, and then I'm going to type, let me know about the Shannon Watts story here in the Q&A. And this literally, you can tell me details about that story, but I'd rather, what I want to know is what you think about people who covered that story, okay? Because I'm all about going back in time on YouTube, grabbing the proof, and then putting out a video or something, or putting a live stream together where I tell you about all the insanity that happened with an old story. Because, look, if it happened on the platform, we need to be cataloging it, historializing it, archiving it, and making sure that the history of our YouTube platform is there and available for people that want to learn about it, want to watch about it, or want to do videos themselves. Okay, so here's what we got. I'm going to start over because, I did ramble on, but I definitely think it's worth rambling about to some degree. So it starts off with, let me address this for everyone who's believing the narrative. Let me be clear and specific. Okay, sorry, I didn't see the I last time, so I'm glad I reread it. I, Flava, or Alicia, am not in a secret group or participating in any friendship with Molly GoLightly. This is the stupidest childish behavior I've ever seen. I owned up and apologized to her for one reason, and that was calling her son's school, because I shouldn't have went real life. And regardless of how you feel about me, Flava, or anything in the past, honestly, I have no ill feelings towards anybody, and I'm always looking at all the things and the drama and the twists and turns that happen, and I'm just like, damn, this is crazy, because I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm just me. I'm just chilling being me, and I see all this shit going on. But I do give you props for apologizing, because that's something I would do, and I would get a lot of hate for it. Like if I thought I did something wrong, I wouldn't do that. But if I did something that I thought encroached or was not true towards Molly or someone else, I would still apologize to them, even though they're Molly, because I still feel that we should do that, not for their sake, but for our sake, if you feel me. If MGL chooses to come to my stream and super chat, I don't have a button to deny it. The whole conspiracy that's been thrown out that I'm in cahoots with Molly is beyond belief. I associate with a lot of women that she does. We have a lot in common as far as my past traumas and things of that nature. It's a shame that you have to be made to pick and choose who you talk to, or you're labeled as a traitor. But Flava, you kind of did that to me. Like, I don't mean to be rude, but remember when I talked to Molly yeah, you got really mad at me for that. So I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to be mean or anything. It's a little bit hypocritical, maybe, that you literally just shat on me because I talked to Molly. Remember? And I came in before I talked to Molly. I told everybody I'm going to go talk to her and try to hear what they have to say and figure this story out and leave all the personal shit to the side. Everybody's like, yay, do that. And then I go do it. And when I come back, Flava and a bunch of people were all pissed off that I talked to Molly, right? Didn't even care. They just threw this big drama fit. Remember? So I will do you the favor of not judging you because you talked to Molly, even though you didn't give me that same respect. Though I will say, I know that a lot of people weren't mad that you talked to Molly. I don't think that's why people were mad. They were pissed that you apologized to Molly and Letitia for thinking that the fraud raiser was a fraud raiser, right? Now, Navy, I'm not saying that Flava did that because I didn't see the clip. I'm just saying I had multiple people come to me and say, oh my God, I can't believe Flava apologized to Letitia and Molly and tried to walk back her believing that it was a fraud raiser, right? And that's the main issue that I think most people had. Do we know where she said that, Navy, or anything? Do we have any info there? Because I'd like to know.
On where she said like this, like her apology to Molly?
No, the apology to Molly, I don't care unless it's the same thing as, you know, what I want to know is where supposedly she walked back saying that the fundraiser was a fraud raiser, because I guess she said that it wasn't a fraud raiser or something.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. I'm not sure exactly. She may have done it on Facebook. I'm not positive. I don't remember exactly here. I just heard that she did it, and then I know she went live on Nonsense channel today.
Susie is saying
I'll chat about it.
Susie says she flipped and said it wasn't fraud, which is insane. Now, wait, who went on Nonsense today?
Flava.
Flava did. I didn't see this. How'd it go? Did you watch it?
It was pretty good. So it was Nonsense, None of Your Business, and Flava, and they were going back and forth over this whole. Basically, what she's saying here, she basically just repeated the whole thing about how, you know, it's not about her teaming up with Molly. It's just about her like leaving this whole thing alone and going on to other things. And she's starting her channel, and so she's going to do her own content and all this kind of stuff. And it also had to do with the Erica person as well. So because that was another, I guess, accusation that was put. Erica. So Erica is, I don't know if we talked about her a couple weeks ago. I think Nonsense had done a video on her. She's one of the people that came over and is basically, from what I understand, like a shit stir and likes to jump into different communities and do all this kind of stuff. And so they were like wanting people to be wary of her.
Sure.
Gotcha. And but yeah,
okay.
So yeah,
not related to this though, Flava thing.
Well, in the aspect that they were claiming that Flava was now working with Erica and Molly GoLightly.
We'll work on that later. Okay. Well, here's the deal. Yeah, I do agree with people. Flava, I don't even think it's just that Flava participated with the Dono Gals in attempting to get the information around and bust the fact that it was a fraud raiser. It's the fact that how loud Flava was, how prolific, very much trying to convey information daily, constantly DMing people and putting things into live chats in all caps, trying to get people to say things and stuff, and then going and starting a channel, which I don't care that Flava started a channel. I didn't even know until a few days ago or a week ago or something anyway. And I'm not against it. As you guys know, I hope people start channels. And if Flava got like, you know, involved in the community and then thought, oh, I'm going to start a channel, that's fine. It's just that if you are going to start a channel after you've been so vocal against the Letitia fraud raiser and come out and state that you now believe that it wasn't fraudulent or that she didn't do anything wrong, you need to explain it. That's the thing. You can't start a channel, go to that channel, and then think you're just going to move on to other things after changing your mind. Now, I think that Flava could probably understand it's not a childish assumption that she has people believing, like she says here, and this is not me being mean, I'm just being upfront and real and letting it, you know, be where it's at. I don't think that it's a childish assumption that you are teaming up with, working with, or positive towards Molly right now, because we all know factually that fundraiser was a fraud raiser, and Flava can't use the excuse, no insult, this is just discussion, Flava can't use the excuse that she doesn't know the details, the fine details of what makes it a fraud raiser, because Flava involved herself very deeply with it. So therefore, this is why, if you're going to change your opinion, people out there are going to say to themselves, there's only one thing that makes sense, and that is the thing that happened literally when you changed your opinion, which was Molly came into your stream, Molly popped around. So now people are like, thinking that, what they're doing is they're seeing you talk to Molly, and then they're seeing you drastically change your opinion on something that you are extremely vocal. It would be like saying, I don't like it when people steal from us. And then when you see Molly, you know that she likes to run around and do that kind of thing. So you change your opinion to liking that people steal from us. So a lot of people are looking at this like, what? Like WTF. So it's not a childish thing if there really is, unless the assumption, I would say, is unfair, or the assumption is nasty or anything, or rude or something. I could then understand designating the assumption as childish. But with this situation, no, I don't think it's childish in any way, shape, or form. People are trying to cope with the fact of how someone could think that ripping our community off, using a man in a coma, lying to us about your relationship with that person, doxing and attacking people, and doing all these things to try and keep the money, try and prevent people from filing reports, scare people away from talking about this, scare people away from filing reports. If you change your opinion like that all of a sudden, we at least want to know why, because we don't want... If there's some secret hidden data that you have that makes you think that the fundraiser is not a fraud raiser all of a sudden, why aren't you telling us so that we can change our opinions too? You know what I'm saying, Navy? You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, 100%. And I don't, as far as I know, she hasn't spoken. If she did, and I heard it, like I said, I heard like you that she walked back the whole claim that it was a fraud raiser. But as far as I know, she hasn't given anything else out. And a lot of what she was on nonsense to talk about today was the fact that she's not being manipulated by Molly or anybody else. She's her own thing. This is why she's doing it. It was basically what she addressed here. And so that's really what it was.
Which is, can you say why it is in a sentence? Is there a way to do that?
It was just kind of like, she apologized for some of the, like, going after her in certain ways and things like that. I guess she felt like she had done it wrong, and so she apologized.
Well, again, like we don't care. She can literally move in with Molly. She can marry Molly, and none of us will care. We want to know why it's not well, I guess people would. But anyway, we want to know why it's not a fraud raiser. Because it's extremely destructive for someone that had ingrained themselves so deeply, involved themselves so deeply in everything, to come out and say that. It's very destructive.
Right, and I think I missed part of the live. They may have asked her about it, but the part I listened to, they didn't ask her about why she no longer claimed it was a fraud raiser, or that she was upset that they were going after Letitia, because I think that was part of it as well. And so, but I'd have to go back and re-listen to Nonsense's stream to see if they talked about it.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I don't want is drama with anybody. And I'm not going to hate on channels that do drama. I see what you guys are saying, that you've watched Flava and she's just kind of bashing on Michelle. And I guess you could probably say that she's against Michelle and that she's commentating on Michelle. So, but then again, she could be... Oh, fuck. There goes my damn camera. I don't know why it's been doing that lately. The good news is it's mechanical, so supposedly this button should fix it. All right. Hey. Anyway, though, I don't think that drama channels are bad, is what I was saying. So I wouldn't hate on her for that. But again, I don't know. I think it's very important for Flava not to necessarily... Why is this posted under exposing scammers? Also.
I want to say
what the hell's that about? So she's posting in the group exposing scammers, and this is her post. Let's just read a little more of it. Okay. I associate with a lot of people that she does have a lot in common as far as my past traumas and things of that nature. It's a shame that you have to be made to pick and choose who you talk to, or you're labeled as a traitor. Exactly. It's not that. You're blaming the wrong thing. People labeled you a traitor because you flipped your opinion of the fraud raiser. So don't blame it on Molly, because you're scapegoating Molly to get you out of you changing your opinion there. I think you should just, hey, Lady D, thank you. I think what you should do, honestly, if you care about the community in any way, and you're not just trying to build a new community and leave the other community behind. If I were you, I would definitely explain why you changed your mind and address how, against all that massive evidence out there, you would ironically change your mind about the fraud raiser and the exact moment that Molly calls you. So you're literally sitting there telling people, yeah, Letitia scammed everybody, stole the money, they doxed everybody. This sucks. They shouldn't have treated people like that. You look at your phone and start ring, 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 ring. Oh, who's this? Molly GoLightly. Hi, Molly. Letitia didn't do a fraud raiser. Bye. Beep. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it looks to all of us. Yeah. And so we don't want to hold that opinion. So what we would like, and we'll be nice enough to let all of our assumptions, thank you, Lady D, as I said earlier, all of our assumptions, we don't want to have them. We don't want to have to feel that way. So that, yeah, once you address why, and you give like a good reason, or you give a fact that we don't know so that we can come, because, you know, I'd love to come out here and say that Letitia didn't do a fraud raiser. I'd love to.
Yeah.
It would be great to do that. I don't want anyone running a fraud raiser, but I also don't want people lying about a Marine in a coma so that they can make money off of his tragedy, off of his life-changing reality. I think it's disgusting. Well, so it's like, what's the lesser evil here, right?
Right. And they also reminded me in the live chat, I got this the other day when this whole thing popped off of Flava, but I forgot about it, was that this group that she's a part of, and I think she changed the name of it, used to be called Exposing Big Juicy, which was going after Molly GoLightly. And then after this whole thing came out where she apologized and all this kind of stuff, she changed the name to Exposing Scammers.
Wait, you're telling me she runs this group?
I'm assuming that she was the one that changed the name from what I know.
Okay.
So,
well, okay,
yeah.
So that's what people are saying, but yeah. I hope to God Flava's not running a group called Exposing Scammers while at the same time saying that Letitia's fundraiser isn't fraudulent. You get me? And then while not giving any reasoning, because like you might as well just change the name to Protecting Them at that point. But go ahead.
So Janelle's telling me that originally it was called Uncovering a Fraud in the Von Mockery case.
Gotcha. Well, it continues with I want no part of anyone or anyone associated with nonsense because the lies she's put out about me really hurt my feelings. What are you talking about? You're literally acting like Molly now. Here's what you do. You tell us what was a lie. You go and make a YouTube video and take what Nonsense said, play it, and then prove to everybody Nonsense is lying. You can't just say this in our community. We don't allow it. We're not Molly's community. Okay? We will resolve our issues as opposed to letting them fester. We will actually go out and figure out what's going on and let everybody know how we feel. We're not going to hide things. We're not going to manipulate our audience in that way. We're not going to use our audience in that way. And we're not going to sit here and play these games. So if you have some issue with Nonsense, which it seems like you did go talk on her channel, so okay, good. Next time, tell us what she lied about. Maybe you will. I know you won't, but yeah. But it was a lesson learned, and I've moved on from it. See, what it sounds to me here is like you're trying to compete with Nonsense. Sounds to me right here that you're trying to take a jab at Nonsense. You want the people that follow you to believe that Nonsense really lied on you, and you had to move on from it. This is just... It's not... Instead of being straightforward with why you're saying things, it's like you're trying to lull and lead the people that are going to read this into agreeing with you without any explanation, without any facts. I think this is extremely bad for the community. Anyway, I choose not to use my platform on YouTube to discuss Molly GoLightly. That's my choice and my right. Actually, as long as you're willing to be labeled a hypocrite, yes. If you're going to let Molly get away with the worst behavior, but then sit around and try to scream about other people when you yourself have gone around in the past attacking her and exposing her and saying all these things about her, sure, you're right. It's your right not to talk about it. Yeah, but it's also our right to know factually that you're being a hypocrite until you address all of this. Because what it sounds like is because Molly decided to butter up to you, you've now completely shifted your take on Molly. And all it took was some attention. All it took, so then we could say maybe that's what was driving you in the beginning to go against Molly. Maybe she just stopped giving you attention, right? Because if attention is the thing that causes you to flip this hard, That's what people would assume. Now, the bad thing about that is that if we believe that, then we have to go back up here and say, oh yeah, now there is some reason to believe that you are teamed up with Molly, not just because if you're that pining for her attention, you'd be the kind of person that would let her manipulate into doing anything that she wanted you to do. Now, the problem we have now is we have to ask ourselves, does Molly manipulate people into doing things for her? And the answer is yes. So you just want us to believe that Molly hasn't tried to manipulate you yet, and that's why you're not working with Molly. It's hard to believe, but we'll get there. That's my choice. Am I right? Please don't mistake my kindness for weakness or ever think I'm being manipulated by anyone. What are you talking about? Your kindness for weakness. That doesn't even make sense in the context of this post, but okay. My inbox has been open as if anyone has or had questions. We have it recorded. We don't need your inbox. We don't need you to talk us into anything. We have the public posted things there that we can go watch to make up our opinion. You know, this is a very much Lobster move. And what Lobster would do is he's another scammer. He would go out and just lie his ass off everywhere. And how he would still keep people on his side was to tell them they needed to reach out to him so that he could explain things to them. And when people would, he would literally just lie and manipulate them, change the subject, you know, do a million things not to address what they came for, and hopefully just, you know, move on by with them being confused enough to forgive him or to let it go. So, you know, the good news is here, we're talking about things that are all public. We don't need anyone to go behind the scenes and talk to help come to any conclusions. You feel me? Anyway, now I don't know what the rest of this is. Oh, these are the comments. Okay, I'd love to know what people think about Flava's post here. So let's see. Let's look at some of the responses. But you accepted money from her, Flava. To me, that's like blood money after all that woman is said and done. You took from her dirty hands. That's the part I can't get past. Whatever an apology about her son. But then to go and accept a super chat from her, that's low. All the members who supported this group for months, caring about Marvon and wondering what that Mrs. A was going to do next and collect money off of him, or Marissa, I'm sorry. And here we are. I understand that she cannot decline super chats when they're given, but if it were me, I would speak up in that moment and make it clear to Molly that although I'm being cordial, I would ask her to cease sending any more super chats to me. Exactly. It's not even about the fact that you're going to try to stop Molly from doing it. Just tell Molly straight up, Molly, you do know that I know you're making the money, that you're super chatting me, ripping everyone off, lying to them, and exploiting families. So you sending me that money, I'm just going to go donate it to a charity so that it goes even or something, right? Whatever your response is going to dictate how people feel about it. Nobody expects you to stop Molly from sending you super chats. Nobody expects you to block her from sending them. But we do want it. We will end up judging you off of how you react to Molly doing it. Yeah, it's a good point. You don't have to go into details about the reason why. Just be clear and firm in that request. After I would block Molly from the chat so she can't control the narrative. The mods cannot see who's on the block list. Yeah, I mean, I don't think these are all things Flava's won't do. Flava's being very much drawing the line. Like, listen, me and Molly are good. We're good with each other, which is fine. That's her decision. She can have that. She can hold that opinion if she wants. Let's see if there's anything else here. It's clear that me and Molly will never be friends. I refuse to be attacked by people that are butthurt and they want to come down on me so hard, but what they're saying to the creator that threw all these accusations out without any proof, at this point, if they feel like they can remove their self, or I'll be more than obliged, but thank you for having some understanding about the situation. Ultimately, there are those that are steadfast in their convictions. Nothing anyone says or does can change those beliefs because that's what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Then there are those who are easily blinded by manipulating words and will flop on a dime. Sad but true. So I think, Navy, we can kind of like see what's going on with the Flava situation. Pretty cut and dry. It seems like people are upset that Flava was so against Molly, so against her scamming, so against her taking advantage of families and all these things, that they're just shocked at how much of a 180 she did the day that Molly came into her chat. And this is the thing. Flava, listen to me closely. Because I have the best... Everyone knows that watches me will know that I give people the best advice in these situations. And that months later, everyone's going to look back and say, hashtag Uni was right. That's where that hashtag comes from. So I'm going to give you the best advice anyone on the planet can give you right now. Literally. I'm going to call it 100% how it is. After I hit this vape. I get it. Molly's got a bunch of subs now. She's giving you attention, and it's hard for you not to kind of feed into that and be impressed by that, be wooed by that. Hear me out. She's using you. The only reason she went to your stream is because people in her Patreon, and this is provable, we have the evidence, I covered this when it happened. It was the day before, or 2 days before Molly showed up in your stream, was because her patrons said that you knew who Nonsense's identity was. And she wanted to dox Nonsense, threaten Nonsense, and try to spook Nonsense off the platform. She's using you, coming to you for evil, nasty reasons. Now, that alone should be enough to show you that she's not coming to you because she cares. Because of you. Okay? Now, what that means is, if you choose Molly over the people, because you have every right to do that if you want. It's the kind of thing you were trying to tell people that I was doing when I talked to Molly, regardless of what was coming out of my mouth for like weeks. Okay? And I didn't say anything about it because I don't like stirring shit. And of course, you weren't a creator at the time, so I let you have that opinion without saying anything. But you're a creator now, so I might respond. Here's the point. Molly is using you. And as soon as she's got what she needs or realizes she can't get it from you, you're going to be out with the garbage again. And it's going to start, you're going to start getting mad at her. You're going to start feeling those same things that caused you down this journey in the first place. But the second time, no one's going to trust you. No one's going to back you. You're going to be on your own, at least without this community. So you've got a hard decision to make. You can either pick Molly and keep defending her, keep choosing not to talk about her, try to get people to watch and maybe make some money by targeting other people that are hated by Molly and the community, like Michelle, for her actions and her defrauding people and her fraudulent fraud raisery stuff she's been doing. Whatever you want to do, you're good. But the point is, don't think she ain't gonna throw you out with the old trash the minute she realizes you're not gonna give her what she wants. Okay? And maybe that'll take 5 days. Maybe it'll take 3 weeks. But I'm going to tell you now, she's using you. She's in your ear. There is no fucking way you are willing to go against all that evidence, all the facts that are out there, because Molly came into your live chat. No one's going to buy that. And if you did flip so hard just because she showed up in your live chat, that's called being a simp. And I don't think you are a simp. So I do believe she's in your ear. I believe her being in your ear, the reason I believe that is because of how much you flipped. So I would take a couple days, it's a holiday, and think about it a little bit and ask yourself whether maybe after everything you've seen, do you think Molly's really there for you? Or do you think she really cares about you? Or do you think she's just using you and will throw you out the first chance she has when she's done getting what she thinks she wants from you? Because based on your choice, the people, the audience, the viewership, they will make up their mind whether or not you are ready for it or not. So let's hope you still got a couple days left before they do. Maybe you can save some of it, but maybe you don't care. I don't know. And guys, it's okay. You know? Look. This is YouTube. Sometimes people, you know, that pull, that power, the power of somebody with a lot of subs, the power of somebody with money, the power of somebody that's a bully, and the power of evil, the power of people using people and sucking souls out of graveyards, it can really have an effect on people if they're not really being neutral and really looking at the facts. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I mean it. Flava has to choose between you all and Molly. She's going to make that decision based on how she responds, not what she says, not the words. The words have to match the actions, or else you got to go with the actions. Actions don't just speak louder than words. They scream 1,000 decibels to the point you can't hear the words coming out of anyone's mouth. The actions are what dictates it. So if you're going to protect Molly, if you're going to lie about the fundraiser, we know what side you've chosen. We know where you're at, and that has nothing to do with blindly picking sides. It has to do with Molly literally doxing everybody, threatening everybody, going after children, going after families, being irresponsible, inciting bullshit, and then tripling down on it, being disrespectful, having, you know, in just the worst things you can do on the platform, to the point where many people have to stop the content they're making and attempt to get a hold of YouTube so they can resolve the situation. You know, that is what you're supporting, whether you'll admit it or not. But we'll still give you some time. I'll figure it out after the holiday. That reminds me, Molly decided that she was going to dox a family. Let's tell you all about it and figure out how we feel. It's pretty crazy. Hear about this one, Navy?
Oh, I just heard about it when we were in BC.
Let's take a listen.
Wow. I definitely did not accept, I did not ever in a million years expect to go live right now. I never in a million years.
Now, what I want you to do
right now
is listen to her tone, to what she's saying and how she's saying it. Because she's getting smarter about playing things that she knows is going to have backlash, that she knows is going to come back at her. And let's put this on 1.5 times speed, because I don't want to spend a lot of time watching this video. It's not worth it. But I definitely want you to get the context of what's going on. I want to be fair to Molly and let you hear what she has to say to a small fair use degree, okay?
But I just received a photo straight from Denver right now. I want to say thank you to my friend Robbie. I will see you in Las Vegas for your wedding. I'm sorry.
So the photo that she's going to put on screen is a hella fucked up thing. She doesn't think so. She doesn't think it's messed up to do what she did. I disagree.
To everyone that's watching right now, I'm actually suffering from an upper respiratory infection.
I think it has something to do with everything we saw in that hotel. Something that went into your body caused you to have extremely insane behavior in that hotel room, and now your lungs are rebelling against you. Maybe you should have treated them a little better.
Hello, everyone. I'm suffering from an upper respiratory infection, yes. So I am not doing well, and actually
It's not STD related, is it? Okay, good.
Started to get sick when I was in Key West.
They have cures for that.
I'm going to show you that it's sold, and you're not going to believe what I'm about to show you in this photo.
So listen to her. You're not going to believe what I'm about to show you. Don't let her fool you, because a lot of bad came from this. Now, I'm going to be nice enough to take it off the screen and describe to you what she puts on the screen. I have to do that. Kind of. I'll explain as it happens. Take a listen, hear me out before you get pissed off. And really, all you're going to see is her face and a family and a house. So you're not missing anything. You can just picture a normal looking family and a house. I'll describe it to you when it comes.
Photo is actually the small family. I know I'm going to get rest, Tina. I'm going to get rest. I'm going to show you my Instagram.
Can you just get along? Why is it that her and these creators take so effing long? She reminds me of backwards boo-boo. It's like it takes them so long to say anything.
Which is Marissa. Yeah, a lot of people getting sick. I am also.
Oh, shit.
Yes, this gave me some antibiotics. Well, she gave me a prescription. Who
Oh
wants to
my
see
God, are you kidding
the
me?
family that bought it?
Okay, so listen. She just said, who wants to see the family that bought it? And she's talking about the home of Shanna Watts. Of course, Shanna's deceased with her 2 kids, right, Navy? I'm saying this correctly. And her ex
Yes.
or her husband's in prison for doing what he did, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the home was where the bad stuff happened in this story. And so this is how I want you to picture this. A family is looking to buy a home. They come across a listing and they buy a home. They move in, take some pictures, post to their Facebook, post to their social media, celebrating the fact that they have a new home and it's actually really pretty and big. It's probably like it's really nice. It's really nice. Most of you probably know what it looks like. I've seen the inside of it from the photos from back then. It's a really nice place. Any family would celebrate buying this home. But as you're going to hear from Molly, she can't believe that they're celebrating. She can't believe what she's seeing, right? She's definitely changed her modus operandi. She's trying to be more reserved. She's trying to communicate what she's trying to say in a more held back way. Most likely because she knows that YouTube is looking at her right now and that other creators have been reporting what she's been up to. And so she's trying to, do her normal content, feed her viewers what they want to see, which they want to see her rage out against this family for having the nerve of buying that house instead of they should have bought it and they should have bulldozed it to the ground and built a memorial. Now, I don't know. Like, I know people pass away in homes every day. Okay, it just happens, especially when an older couple lives their life out and one of them finally, the last one passes, and then it goes to a new family. And this happens all the damn time. I can go through town and just remember back when other, my grandparents of my friends and myself used to live certain places and now they don't, and it's been bought by a new family. I'm just saying. Now, of course, this is a violent issue that happened, and is it possible that the family knows that they've bought a house where this happened? It's possible. We just don't know one way or the other as of right now. But just so you know, the pictures were taken from social media. And I don't know why she thinks she's got a right to go find an unrelated. This family is not related to this story whatsoever. She puts their faces up there, their names up there, their home up there. Anyone can find them now. Anybody can track them down, and this is a place that she has gone to. She went to this home after this happened and walked up to the windows and peeped in them. She is a literal window peeper. This is recorded. And then she stole rocks from their property to try to harness the energy of what happened there. I don't know. In her future magical spells. Why else would you need a rock? A bunch of rocks from a murder scene. But the point is, that family had to take their pictures down. Their family couldn't have their posting up. They couldn't have this, a lot of people that aren't social media influencers use Facebook to upload them buying a new home, and then 10 years from now they'll get a little notification, hey, you moved in 10 years ago today, and then they look at the pictures and everybody's happy and they're just going about their lives. And instead they've had to delete these photos. And you know why? Because Marissa unleashed the stalky brigade on those posts. It's not from a content creator. It's not like her doing this stuff to content. Now, her argument is, but these people's posted publicly to Facebook. So this is like you going and grabbing pictures of families in their homes just because they posted out the front door like, hey, we just moved in, and you're mad at them. You are angry at them. You're not happy with them. This wasn't you doing it to tell a story. You did it to shame them. You did it for the controversy. She did.
So
she's got a picture. I believe there are 3, and they're in squares like Facebook shows. The top one is the actual home. The bottom left is what looks like a mother and a daughter, and the daughter looks like she might be 18 or 20, but it's really small, so it's hard to tell. And then the bottom right photo is two people. It looks like the same two people standing outside of the front door and, you know, just dressed nicely and then standing up straight, most likely so that they could show their family members that don't live near them the posting, their home.
Let's see the family that bought the house. It's a nice small family that bought Shanann and Chris Watt's house. I have visited the home. I paid my respects. There's a video of it. A lot of people
paid your respects. That's the thing here. Most people have a completely different notion of respecting people. They don't think that respect is to go to the scene and peek in the windows and take rocks and stomp around their yard and trespass. And most people don't consider that a respect, whether they're alive or dead. Okay? Like, seriously, you could go there to do a report and people would consider it respectful. I'm standing out front of the house where this happened, and I'm going to tell you the story of a horrible incident. Whatever. You know, like a normal show. I don't think people would even care. If you wanted to historialize the issue, if you wanted to go talk there. But to go stand outside there and stomp around in their yard and take rocks and look in the windows and all this garbage, that is not paying respects. It's the definition of disrespect. Like, literally. That it's not your place to go stomp around on. It's not your place to peek in windows and try to gain some sort of little like secret info to tell your audience. It's not your place to steal rocks. I'm sorry. It's just not. If you're going to do it, at least admit you're being disrespectful, not respectful.
People took it a little out of control. I picked up some rocks. I didn't take the rocks.
She says she thinks people took it out. I went out of control with it. And you've said you took the rocks in the past. You can change the story now. That's fine.
People thought I took them. They went crazy.
You said they took them. People went crazy because it was disrespectful. Because you have no barriers. You have no empathy. You never say to yourself, what would this family want? Would they want strangers on their yard? Would they want strangers looking in their window? Well, it doesn't matter. I'm Molly GoLightly. They're dead, so who cares what they think? Exactly. It's disrespectful.
Trust me, I know how to make people crazy on here.
No, you're not making people crazy. People are cringing at you. People are criticizing you. People are looking at you, and they're either laughing at you or they're thinking about how desperate you must be for attention to do these things. It's not their problem, the reaction that they have to this. It's the fact that you did it that's the problem.
I actually left the rocks behind. You couldn't live in that house. You want to know something?
Now, listen.
Ghosts. Well, this is the thing. I mean, I hate to, and let's just talk about this and then move on. A lot of people thought that this house should be taken away or, you know, that there should be a small park dedicated.
Isn't that what you thought? Isn't that what you were saying? Well, let me ask my chat. You guys know a lot better than I would. What did she want back then? What was what she said that should happen to the house? Because I'm probably wrong, I guess, now hearing her say this. Because she's about to say that other people wanted this bulldozed down and a park made or a memorial made. She's saying others wanted that, not her, others. I recall this happening because, yeah, it was big when she did it. It didn't log in my brain that it was her. It didn't log in my brain the family or the story, but I recall the outrage against her for this and people being like, those crazy true crimers are out there doing it again. Anyway, though, I recall her saying she wanted it bulldozed, but I could be wrong. You need to tell me in the chat whether that's true or not. Most of you probably would remember more than I would. You know, and make sure you tell me what you guys think. Hey, Juju Positive. Good. I love positive Juju. So I'm glad you're here. We need more positive Juju. You know, we'll see.
A lot of different things. Can someone in the chat look up the info for how much it's sold? Hold on. Let me call Robbie right now. Let me call Robbie.
Oh, see what I'm saying? I don't know where her mind goes. No preparation, no, not even a basic read on this. Like, I swear to God, somebody sent her these pictures and she said, I'm gonna dox them. Yeah, go ahead.
Here's what I don't understand, right? One of the things that we all strive for to happen whenever a tragic situation occurs, right, is that for there to be some good to come out of it, right? Something happens, and sometimes it's a law passed, or justice is served, or whatever. And in this case, what you would want to say, and this is what I would say if I was covering this, which I wouldn't cover it, but if I, maybe if I just wanted to say like a couple lines about it, is that thank God this house wasn't sitting on the market forever, because nobody wanted to live in it because of what happened. A young family has decided to purchase this house, and now it's going to take a negative and turn it into a positive as they raise their family there, and allow this to become something good, to grow out of this heinous tragedy that occurred.
Yeah.
But she doesn't want to do that, right? I mean, that's what you would hope, because turning into a memorial is not going to do anything but remind everybody who, if you live there during the time, you're not going to.
A good point. Also, Lauren says that they had to literally close down their Facebook page because of Molly. Yes, definitely. Because Molly has cultivated people who she has sent, I don't know how many times, to go harass someone, dox someone, find information for her. She has tried to gain a following of people that are okay with her doxing, threatening, harassing, all this crazy stuff she does. And because of that, all she needs to do is show them a Facebook. Literally, you saw her when you guys asked for refunds. She would show your Facebook on her screen like this, and then the chat would literally, I just reported the account. I just sent her a message. I just told her what to do. And that's what she's cultivated. And that's why now she can do this. And though, you're right. But see, here's the deal. This house can't just become an effing memorial. It's very expensive. I wouldn't be surprised if it was over $300,000 by the looks of it. Now, if it's smaller than it looks, maybe not. And the location matters, but I mean a non-expensive area. It's so big it would still probably be a couple $100,000 bare minimum. But the thing is, whoever owes the money, or whoever paid the money, whoever owns it, in order for it to be just torn down and become a memorial like this, they would have to forego however much money. It's probably over $600K. I agree. I was being very conservative, but I do agree. It probably is. But the thing is, somebody can't just, who has the money to throw away $500,000 or $250,000 and then have it, now that's not even having it bulldozed, having all of the trash and everything removed, and then building the memorial. The memorial is probably going to cost $100,000 just to build it. And then you got to pay taxes on the damn, who's going to pay for this in a residential area? So people literally that get these thoughts in their head and act like this, it's a good, I guess, fantasy concept. Is it possible that it would happen if they had a monetary backer that could take all these hits to the cash and then pay for all this stuff? Yes, but it's going to be really rare. I think it went for $300K and less than median price for the area. Well, that'd be good. Then that's probably why this family bought it. They probably bought it because I want to know for sure, though. I want to know for sure. You know what I'm saying? Before I spread anything here, I want to know for sure. So I'll wait, because I'm sure. Let me see if I can find an article.
Well, and like I was saying, and like you're saying too, there's no reason for there to be a memorial there. This house, this land needs to be used. I'm assuming it went back to the family, and the family needs to get this off their shoulders, right? Where it's no longer their responsibility to remind it, Chris Watts' $660,000 home, where he did the bad thing, is on sale in Colorado. Let me see if I can find what. Okay. The newly built 2013 for just under $400,000. A description says if you're interested in the home, submit a funding commitment later from your bank for at least $660,000. So I don't know what, I mean, I guess we're saying it's about $660,000 home. When was this written? May 20th of 2022. So I don't think there's anything really new here. But when you have this happen, sometimes it will cause people to sell the house for less than what it would normally cost because of what happened there.
some people won't buy it, and therefore, because of that, it lowers the value of the home. Though, anyway, now you've got all the information. $660,000 house is, in order for it to be bulldozed, that money has to come from somewhere. It doesn't just happen. So you can't get mad at the family that bought the damn home. That's just strange, right? But let's hear what Molly says, because as much as, like, she keeps saying that what a nice little family bought the home and all this stuff, there's definitely an underlying implication based on how she keeps saying it's crazy that this happened, and I can't believe this and stuff. Just listen to her talk about
Robbie, hold on. Call Robbie, bitch. Let me call him. Do they know the house's history? I am absolutely sure. I figured it would be 600. So it's about the same price as my house.
So she said, someone asked her if they know the house's history, and she says, I'm almost absolutely sure.
Because mine has always been comparable to theirs. It was really strange.
How does this house have a history, though, when one thing happened? Like, I get houses having a history. These typically are houses where, like, lots of really bad things happen every 20 years or something like that. Or, like, you know, the house has had, like, a bunch of bad things. Now, this is a very bad event that happened, so I get it. Okay, fine. That right there maybe is enough to say that it would spook out a large percentage of people from maybe being there. But then again, they didn't tear down the schools when things happened there or other places, so I don't know what to think about it.
You'd be worried about people. Well, that's what we're going to talk about.
Gabriel, no way. Because that's what Molly got in trouble for. Molly got in trouble because they actually, so for those of you that don't know, Molly started to believe that the man who did this did it because the wife hurt the kids. And after that, that's why Molly started to make fun of Shanna Watts for what happened to her, and then got laughed off the internet. Literally, she left the internet for a very long period of time where she didn't do anything on her channel because of the amount of people that were just so mad at her for doing this to this woman. Because of course, the people that were against Molly were angry that not only did this woman have her children taken by this man, not only had her life taken by this man, he got to live and then abuse her afterwards by claiming that she actually did it to the kids, and he snapped and did it to her. And a lot of people consider that him abusing her even further by making that claim. Molly, on the other hand, believes, and I don't know what the evidence is. I remember looking at this a long time ago, and I didn't cover it because, and I had, like, Chimera would talk to me about this case a lot. And I didn't cover it, though, because there was no evidence that I knew of to show that the mother was the actual one who did it. The evidence showed that it actually was him, according to the people I talked to. Gabriel, can you hook me up? That's pretty much what everyone found, right? That what everybody out there believes, due to the evidence, due to the breakdown of the crime, the evidence that was left behind, is that he further abused her after death, after taking her life, by saying that she had done the worst things of this, instead of taking ownership for what he did. That's what they claim, Hope. Oh, it's true, Sugarfly, that she's losing subs. Yeah, her going there and doxing this family. Oh, by the way, Molly says she didn't dox them and that she did nothing wrong. I disagree. You tell me why you had to continue to show these people, who are literally no one that should be on the internet on our channels, being blasted. They didn't post some silly thing, making a silly claim on social media. They didn't post anything more. They were just living their lives. A YouTuber comes by and now they've got to delete all of their social media because they're getting harassed to death by your audience. Then, though, now Tallulah says that was his first admission. So at first, he blamed it on her and then all that. Now, I remember the evidence showing that that wasn't true. So then he made a second admission, according to Tallulah, that he offed the kids at an oil field after he offed her. Now, whatever happened, I recall that the evidence debunked him, and that's why nobody believed him. So for Molly and these other people to center in on this debunked theory that she deserved it, which, what? Anyway, you realize, and this is what gets me. These people say that there are true crime YouTubers, okay? Every murderer is going to try and blame their victim for what they did in order to get themselves out of it. Every one of them. Every thief is going to try to blame the person they stole from instead of blaming themselves for stealing. It literally is a fact. Every liar is going to try to say that the person that they're lying on is lying. And every time the person who's telling the truth and the person who lied, the only thing it's going to tell the difference is the evidence, because both sides must point at the other side and say, you lied. If I'm telling the truth and Navy lied on me, I'm going to say he's lying on me. If Navy lied on me, he's going to be saying he's lying. You see what I'm saying? And for true crime YouTubers not to know that they have to take a meticulous look at the facts of the case, they have to study from every side, every scenario, and every piece of evidence, and they got to put a lot of time and effort into it in order to not buy into destructive, abusive theories. This is what makes Bullhorn Betty and Molly and Justin and LB and them so bad at what they do. It makes them such bad YouTubers. They can't put the time into the case. They won't even go live and put the time into the case, but they're the ones that claim that they aren't making money off the victims, but they believe. Now look at the Dre and Marvon scenario. With Molly, she believes the conspiracy theory every single time, because she knows it's what's going to draw controversy, it's what's going to draw attention, and it's going to create the LARP of a game that she is supplying her audience with. It is a method, not on accident.
644. Oh, wow. Okay. So this is the thing. When you buy a, I was a realtor. If you don't know this, 2 facts.
You were a realtor. You were a realtor? God help us. You were a realtor. She didn't work at a realty company. She had her license and sold homes, is what you're telling me. Gabriel says, I just want to be clear. I just skimmed a recent video of Robbie's, and he's not saying Shanna did it, but he's talking about what a bee she is and that she could have provoked Watts. Well, these people literally will say anything, because saying that thing is the only way they get views and attention. You know, if they just go and report the facts of the case and give you their opinion, they have to contend with everyone else that's doing it. There's only 2 people on the face of the planet that believe the murderer, that he was provoked by. How do you provoke murmur? How does that make sense? Anyway, literally, Molly and this guy. Only 2 on the face of the planet, and some of their followers. Anyway. So they literally get to make all the content they want with no competition, because no one else says what they say.
Was a realtor in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I was also a realtor in New Jersey.
She was for a year, so she wasn't really a realtor then. When you say that you are a realtor, it means that you have experience doing it. So you shouldn't be telling stories if you only were for a year. In fact, I would go to say no one takes the time to become one and just quit in a year unless they weren't that good at it to begin with. She must not have been that good at it, or she must have done something that made it to where she couldn't do it anymore, right? Oh, you know it, Smiles. You know it. It's like, yo, I spent all this time getting my realtor, whatever it's called, certificate or whatever. And now I've got this job. I'm selling houses, and you know what? Every house I sell, I make 20%. I'm making the money. You know, it usually takes a long time to sell a house too. You know that, right? So it's not even possible that she sold that many if she only did it for a year.
In those 2 states, you do not have.
See if Nerdily is accidentally blocked. I'll check, but I really need her channel link. I really need her channel link. To make sure, okay? So if you can put it into the bottom of general, then I can really make sure. But I'll look in the channel settings, but the channel settings aren't that reliable. To unblock, to make sure someone's unblocked, I really need their link. So if Nerdily can send her, go to her YouTube channel and grab the link to her channel and give it to one of the mods so they can put it in Discord, and I can make sure that, because yeah, I don't want any of you to be blocked. But I'm looking right now.
Have to tell anyone that it's a stigmatized property, which means, you know, the history has, you know, a death had occurred. Remember that 1 death occurred in this house.
I'm only going to show you for a second because these pictures are public now. They're pretty much everywhere. I just checked. And after she posted them, a bunch of people downloaded them and reposted them and stuff. Probably because they took down her site. But as you can see, this is, you can't even tell details about this because it's so small on my screen. And then this is the house. So this is what Molly put up with. Now, Molly didn't just do that. She put their profile names up and their names, and that's how people went after him.
I was the first person to ever make a video about Chris Watts before any other channel. And you bet she starts a YouTube channel in the house. That would be very—
Yeah, I don't have a... I'm not showing Nerdily as blocked, but I want to make sure. So if you can get me her link, you know. I know. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, those pictures are pretty much everywhere right now. Yeah.
very interesting. I went to visit this house, and as a realtor, I have to say, it has been sitting.
You're not a realtor. You don't have the experience of being one. I hate it when people do that, right? Hey guys, I worked I worked as a, what did Leslie Bass say? She was like some business person, or like a CEO or something. Like, no, you weren't.
Yeah, some kind of office she worked in. Yeah.
That she like ran the whole thing. No, you were the damn receptionist.
Sitting for a couple of years, which means it's going to be quiet, which means it would be a breeding ground for infestations.
What did she just say? What? It's a breeding ground? Who's breeding there?
I went to visit this house, and as a realtor, I have to say, it has been sitting for a couple of years, which means it's going to be quiet, which means it would be...
No, you see, this is why you obviously don't know what you're talking about, for God's sake. There are many factors that could lead to whether it would be a breeding ground or not. And I don't think it just sitting there being quiet would be one. In fact, you have no clue that the maintenance that has happened to the place, or the level of... You don't even know if somebody was staying there, or whoever owned it in the interim, like with the bank or something, and had the realtors there and all this. And you don't know. You just have no data to come out and say that you're showing their family on screen and their home, and you're literally telling people that you have the realtor authority, which a realtor, you're the realtor authority to tell people that their home is infested with something, most likely rats, cats, I don't know, moths.
And from what the live chat was saying, this house was on the market for a while, right? So if it's on the market, it can't be infested with anything. They had to go and clean it and check it and show it and all this kind of stuff.
They're showing it like crazy. You know, they're going by there, you know, the open houses are happening, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then on top of that alone, when a bank when a bank assigns a home to a realtor, they don't just leave it there and they don't just not check on it. They don't just not go by there. They don't just, you know what I'm saying? At least where I'm from, that's the case. So for God's sakes, for her to say this, it's just ridiculous. And that's why you don't go around telling people you're a damn realtor when you failed at realting and had to stop in under a year.
Excuse me. A lot of people are not freaked out by someone that has passed on in a home, or something that
It's so crazy that she sat here like doxing the hell out of these people. And I'm going to explain how it is. In fact, I'll do it now. But let's let her finish this and then I'll explain.
You know, we just saw comments where they said, I don't know who left the... Yeah, no, it's a fair...
She was just trying to sound smart. She wanted the people to look at her as if she's smart and she's an authority and she knows what she's talking about. So, of course, she tries to pull from her being a realtor and then make a claim that makes her look smart. But then because she doesn't know what she's talking about, said something really dumb.
Family, see it? There's little kids. There's the wife, there's the realtor, and there's a husband and little children. And
we can tell you're showing us their pictures. We can tell. Yeah. I know. I'm wondering why you're showing them to everybody and their social media names and talking like this about them. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do want to buy this house. Sometimes you can get a lot more people interested in this house because of what has happened there.
That is insane. That is insane. The reason that people are interested in the house, it's not because of what happened there. How do you say this as a realtor? It's because of the price. It's because people know that there are certain things that can affect the price of a home. They can buy it if they have money laying around, wait 10 years or 5 years and sell it at a huge profit. That's not, so therefore it's not the murmur. It's the price that drives people there, Mrs. Realtor.
Well, if the house had been abandoned, I could see what she's saying, but it wasn't.
Exactly. It wasn't abandoned. Exactly. Right? It's too nice to be abandoned like that. To think that a home selling for $700,000 that looks this good is infested just because Molly comes up with this giant, theory about homes that are being sold that go up on listings for more than a year become infested. Like, what?
Like me, if I was to own that house.
The only thing it's infested with is Molly's bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Molly, the only thing infested around here, actually, there's two things, her brain and her lungs. Most likely her brain is being affected by the lung damage.
Believe I'm going to turn it into an Airbnb.
You're going to turn it into an Airbnb. You're proving you know nothing about being a realtor.
There's me, if you look at my Instagram.
You know what's even better than trying to sell this house for hundreds of thousands of dollars under market value because of what happened here? Trying to convince people to stay the night.
You'll see me outside the shameless house, the Home Alone house, the homeless house, the Home Alone house, the Goonies house, things like.
Are you comparing this home to homes that were used in movies? What?
That because it's such, I love going to locations. I love that.
How do you see this as a location?
And
I'm going to go see the Home Alone house. This is my perfect vacation. Then I'm going to see the Goonies house. Then I might stop by and see the house that was in that one really good Tom Cruise movie. And then I'm going to go look at the house that had a bunch of murders. That's my dream vacation, Molly GoLightly 2022.
There's people that are always there. Now, before I showed up last year and took the picture in front of...
Are you watching my channel without hitting the like button? Why? We're almost at 100.
This photo that so many were rocking and rolling, freaking out. Oh my goodness. Couldn't believe Molly GoLightly went to that house. Well, you better believe I'm going to pay my respects to...
Your respects. She said it again. What's crazy is that her audience is even dumber. That's what frustrates me. It's because they're being led by Molly. The effect of groupthink is way more powerful than you'd think. You can have pretty smart people that end up being led into stupidity, literally just because they look up to someone.
Miss Shanann, and all the horrible crap that has come out of that horrible story.
Because don't forget the hotel from Home Alone.
Chris started.
She stayed there with the, how can she sit and talk about ghosts? Or wait a minute, this is now just causing my mind to spin out of my brain. My brain is helicoptering in my head and it's about to lift off into the stratosphere. You believe in ghosts? How are you not a hardcore atheist? She has to be a hardcore atheist, Navy. She has to. If she's not a hardcore atheist, how is she constantly chasing dead people and and exploiting them and making money off of them. You know, I can understand an atheist doing it. And I'm not putting down atheists. It's because they don't believe in life after death or any of that stuff. And they don't believe they're disrespecting the dead because you can't, because the dead are gone. But someone who's religious, especially someone who's old school religious, and I know people that are old school religious and believe in ghosts, y'all. They are superstitious. They believe there's a million things you do and don't do so that you don't piss off the dead or the demons. I'm dead serious too. You can't be that kind of person and talk about the dead like Molly does on YouTube. Molly literally would believe she's making blood money off of all of her YouTube videos if she believes in ghosts. It can't be that way. It just can't. There's no way.
The most disgusting chain of events. Chris wasn't on my mind. It was looking through that window and seeing Shannon's kitchen.
So you didn't just do it for a spectacle. You did it because you were picturing the woman who you were going to make fun of in her kitchen, because you made fun of her for being murmured. You said it was her fault and that she was annoying and that's why he did it, literally. And then you mocked her voice and shit, and everybody on the internet turned on you and you ran off the internet crying.
And remembering, you know,
anybody have a clip of her? I know that one of my mods or one of you can give us the clip of Molly saying all that horrible shit about Shanna Watts. I need it right now. Somebody put it in the bottom of general, please.
Her having the same chair that I have in my background. And
you notice how it's always about her, Navy?
Yes.
How
God,
does a human being, all she thinks about is her, she is a narco, bro. She is a hardcore narcissist. She talks about herself. It's crazy.
Well, what she's doing is she's relating herself to a victim, right? Because she's a victim too, right? So here's how I'm associated with the victim who I made fun of. Are you serious? You crazy person. Crazy.
See if I can find this damn video, because I remember seeing it back when she did it and cringing out like crazy. Shannon Watts. 2 N's. Molly GoLightly. At Chris Watts' house, Molly GoLightly. How does she leave this stuff up? How does she leave this stuff up?
Form. Molly GoLightly.
She literally ran from the internet over this whole thing.
Dude, holy shit. You see the bugs?
Wow. Oh my God. I put my camera and I'm looking in someone's home. Oh, wow.
There must have been one of those. She had the same chair as me. Look at the wainscoting. It's beautiful.
I don't see a chair. Do you see a chair, Navy? Where is this chair that she has?
No, don't see it.
Well, I'm here. Walking wearing heels. Isn't gonna touch the house.
How do you not believe you're going to hell, Molly, if you're religious?
Oh.
I can't. I mean that from the depths of my soul. I'm not. I just like I can't fathom that she believes in heaven or hell without being scared to death of going to hell. Like, it would only be just after what she's done to all these people. It would be like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, if I was her and I had done what she's done, I would literally be terrified as a Christian. So it's like, you can't do that. You can't go around and lie on people like she does. And you can't sit there and profit off of this insanity like this. I mean, some people just aren't religious. They don't have any type of religious thought in their head, which is perfectly fine if they want to live like that. But for people that are, and they believe that there is an eternal punishment for certain things, I just don't get it. Like, it should be terrifying to someone who believes it. So supposedly I got the video. Ready? Guys, ready for the thing that caused Molly to literally run from the internet for like a year or some shit?
Hi, everybody. Hi, guys.
So she is literally pretending to be Shanna. This is after Shannon was, you know.
I got my Thrive. It just came in the mail. Chris is going to be so excited. Got my
Chris, the murmurer.
new patches. Look, we got a zebra. It goes right here. You know what? I'm just going to put it on my titty because you can put it anywhere. See this? We got chocolate Thrive.
One of these days, you should watch Shannon Watts' dad, Frank Ruzek's, I'm going to say his name wrong, press conference begging people to stop. Let me see if I can find it, bruh. Watch it next. Frank. Press conference. Thank you. Is that stitching? Yes, it is. Thank you. Rage quit. That's right. Let's see. There's another one. Chris Watts' house sold. These people are stalkers, dude. Straight up stalkers. What makes people and go in, inject themselves into people's lives like this? I'll never figure it out.
Lavelle chocolate lifestyle mix. So what do we got
How is this respect? She said she had to pay respect to Shannon. How is this respect, Molly?
here? It says
It's not.
ultra micronized.
This is so disrespectful. It's beyond disrespectful. This is what I mean by, how does she not terrified if she is a Christian based on how she's acted? Because I've never seen anyone act like this. I've never seen them do it unless they are literally like trying to, you know, mock it.
Nutrient
It leaves me speechless.
minerals, probiotics, everything you need is in here, guys. Got all my patches. You know what? I'm feeling super good today. Then I'm gonna put 2 patches
She did this for 7 straight minutes, Navy.
on. I'm gonna let the zebra match.
I don't know why she thinks that'd be
The
I mean,
leopard.
she's just a horrible person. I'm sorry.
Thank
She's
you,
just, I don't
Sheree.
care.
See how that goes.
I don't
You
know
can't
how
tell me.
anyone supports this trash.
You can't tell me that she was trying, that she wasn't doing what she was doing to Dre on purpose. This is her. This is how she feels about people in tragedies. This is how she feels about, you know, this is why she targeted Dre and convinced everybody to think Dre had done it. Because it's a pattern of behavior from this woman. It's not like she just did it, like out of the blue or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like it was the first time that she'd convinced people that the victim needed to be harassed like crazy and thought of as a murderer and live miserably. Like, she does this to victims, and it's such a history. There's such a repetitious behavior. It's unbelievable that YouTube hasn't stepped in. I can't believe that YouTube allows any of this. They will ban people for sharing an opinion on something, but you can do this and harass the living shit out of a person that just was murdered.
Yeah, I'm gonna be up all day. I can take care of my kids, do the laundry.
Oh my God. She is insulting the way she takes care of her children.
Do the dishes, vacuum the house, mop, go to the car cleaner, pick up the wash, blah, blah, blah.
I would hope to God someone has the live chat. I want to know what the live chat looked like, because you know they were egging her on. You know, half of them were telling her to stop, and the other half, and they were getting banned, and then the other ones were egging her on.
All
Yep,
that
see, people
before
are attracted to each other. It happens all the time. We've
Yeah.
seen it how many times, right?
Oh yeah. Oh
10
yeah.
a.m. Check out Thrive. It's better than crack. Hi, guys. Get your Thrive.
She just mimicked Shannon Watts being shot in the head.
Okay. God rest her soul. Oh no, Chris is around. I gotta go. God rest her soul. But those videos, ay, dandito. Those videos, ay, cabrón, ay, no, loca.
Why are you speaking a language, mimicking in a very racist way this language? Why are you doing that?
No, I'm not going to take them off. You want to know why? Because they don't even work.
And he strangled
They don't
her.
work.
I know. But she still mimicked it.
They don't work. They're stupid.
Chris, I know.
You gotta take your little pills first. 20 minutes before you have your thing, guys. You gotta take your little pills. She was passionate about what she was doing, the poor thing. But to shove it down people, you know how expensive that.
So it's okay to mock her because the stuff she sold was expensive.
Wait, doesn't this sound familiar? Doesn't this sound like
It's
Dre?
exactly what she did to Dre. It's exactly what she did to Dre.
Shit is.
So was this woman, like, I didn't know
It
that I didn't
works,
follow the Shannon Watts
guys.
case. Was this woman more popular than Molly? Is that why she's doing this? 'Cause once again, she's jealous of another woman.
I'm starting to. I don't know how big Shannon Watts's like social media was. Someone in the chat will have to tell us. But I mean, I'm starting to get this really sick feeling in the pit of my stomach that Molly is doing this out of anger and maliciousness, that typically you can't prove intent in these stories because you don't have the kind of video we have of Molly. But I think we've got enough to prove that she did this to Dre and Shannon with intent. And I don't know how many other people are out there. Like, I don't know how many other victims that she's mocked like this that are out there.
Cece, you're gonna fall off the counter. Be careful.
Like, you notice how she can tell she's starting to realize. She's starting to really kind of feel like, uh-oh, I mess up again? Because you know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell.
I told you it's expensive. I'm just keeping it fucking real. A hustle? It's a fucking scam. It's a pyramid scheme.
This is what she said about Dre. She didn't ever criticize anything about any other person who sold what Shannon Watts or Dre sold. She didn't criticize them before the incidents happened. So it's like she almost doxes in to people and looks for things that she has this open window to make these claims about.
Over $200.
Well, Glam is saying in the live chat that Shannon posted videos and did lives on Facebook a lot about their lives. Sounds just like Dre.
No.
You can go and get protein powder like this. It's just a little bit of protein powder, right? You can get some friggin'.
If you want to say that it's a scam, it takes a lot more than just saying it's a scam, Molly. But I thought you didn't accuse things of being scams. I thought it was wrong to accuse things of being a scam. Right? Remember? Remember, Molly?
Hydroxycut like crap. And you can go to 1995. Go over to the fucking GNC. You can go to the super.
It's not 1995. I'm just going to tell you now. It's way more expensive than that. But it doesn't mean that Shannon Watts' company wasn't ripping people off. You literally have to go in and look at what they're selling and the percentages of it and what's in there, and then do some number crunching, do some research. Then you could present that it's a scam. But you just can't come out and say it. Remember, Molly?
Supermarket can get this shit. You can get fucking Slim Fast.
Slim Fast is not whatever you just said. I forget what you just said. It's not that kind of protein and mixed with other stuff. The Slim Fast is different.
Or if you want to lose weight.
Do you know how expensive Slim Fast is, for God's sake? It's pretty expensive. I mean, for me, I think it is.
How about you drink some water and run around the block a couple of times? Stop eating sugar.
You take your own advice.
Do as I say, not as I do.
I was about to say that. I was like, Jesus.
Yes.
I was like, look in the mirror and say the same thing.
Oh, and this didn't even...
How can Molly not understand how inappropriate it is to say this after what happened to her? It's like Molly is definitely targeting these people and trying to go through their lives, pick through the lives of victims after the fact, and coming up with anything she can come up with to pick on them or put them down or whatever. There's no point being made. There's no, like, it's not an overarching theme of her channel to bust scams like it is here. It's like even us busting all the fraud raisers we've busted over the years. Somehow it was inappropriate for us to look at Letitia's fraud raiser, right? Remember her saying all that shit, acting like, it's so atrocious to be able to say, you can't say it's a scam until it goes to court. It doesn't matter if you have them recorded in the act. I think it's pretty clear that Molly has issues with other women, especially attractive women, and especially women who have a following on social media. It's not only evidently clear, it's provable. There's enough evidence now that we have that we can, make a damn good argument out there that, Molly has a following because she has given people a reason to hate these victims. And unfortunately, there are people out there, when they see a victimized individual, like of a murmur or of some other horrible crime, they want to scour that person's life and hate on them for whatever sick reason. And she's appealing to this very small demographic that has no other outlet, because anyone else that does that on social media gets banned. Molly has just found a way to skirt by for long enough that she's never faced consequences for what she's done.
Even come with any bars. This shit didn't even come with any bars. Hi, guys.
Bars. You realize you're making fun of the way she talks right now. Hi, guys. Like, you're literally making fun of her and getting angry in the face every time you do it right after. See, you can tell she's starting to get agitated with her chat because she's getting criticized. Criticism's starting to roll in. She's starting to get more angry. She's starting to make excuses for why she's doing it.
Hi, guys. She never lost weight. She said she lost weight. Lipozene. I heard about lipozene.
All of a sudden, it's okay. Lipozene's okay. But now what Shanna sells isn't okay?
No dose. I remember no dose. Holy shit, we're at 406. Yes, it was $200 fucking dollars. I only bought it to support a friend.
Shannon, like Dre, had a large Facebook following and were on top of their sales and streamed family life. The similarities are frightening. They are. They are frightening. They're frightening because what it shows us is that we have found a bully of murmur victims and a bully of children victims and a bully of families who experience tragedies. And it's so hard to wrap your mind around at first. It only starts to sink in the further you've seen her go over and over and over, of just how much of a straight out bully she is of these people. You won't even find this. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was saying I would go from calling her a tragedy pimp to a victim hater, honestly.
No, exactly. And I was about to say, you don't even see this shit on 4chan. Like, you'll see some very free speech message boards ban people that shit talk murder victims and shit.
Do you feel boob amazing? I totally feel boob amazing. I feel like I'm about to get.
They're not. I swear you're wrestling two beavers, Molly. Stop talking about it.
EKG.
Stop wrestling them beavers.
The patches are supposed to like give you energy. Tastes like, hold on, let me go get my Thrive bar. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, guys.
Well, they're supposed to give you energy. I probably wouldn't recommend putting 2 or 3 of them on your body if they're dermal patches.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's what happened to her. Maybe it was these experimental patches that did it. She stuck them on and then immediately started making fun of victims like crazy.
We got the one.
And then the FDA puts out his big news. Beep, 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 breaking news. For those of you that use super patches, they will make you start to bully murder victims. Do not use them. A recall has been issued.
Oh my god. I better hold off until Chris gets home or else he's gonna kill me.
There it is. There it is.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Wow.
There it is. There it is. Mocking her for being murdered. And then after this, her and a couple of her close compadres started to adopt and spread a conspiracy theory that the murderer was the true victim and that Shannon Watts deserved it. And I'm not playing. That's what Molly and her friends. In fact, the dude that she called on the phone in today's video, Gabriel just said that his last video is of him insulting and calling Shannon Watts a bitch. See that face? Look at the face she makes when she gets real nasty.
Gonna kill me. Hold on, guys. I'm just gonna hold on, Cece. Don't fall off the couch. Be careful. You might break your neck or something.
Oh my god, she's even making fun of the kids being passed on. Because she just made fun of the kid falling and breaking their neck. And the kid literally was strangled until the necks were broken. So that's just insanely disgusting.
How does anybody support this crap? I mean, they had to have seen these videos, right? The long-term Patreons and all this kind of stuff. Like,
listen to this. Man. These kids and Shannon Watts were strangled to death until their bones broke. And she just made a joke about the kid breaking their neck. And this is after the kids were dead.
Oh my god. Oh, you guys.
And you know why she's making fun of this? Because she's fucking jealous. Just like Cherie or Lauren said, Shannon Watts sold a butt ton of this stuff. Just like Dre did. And made a lot of money out of it. And Molly... This is when Molly had, what, like 3,000 subscribers and got chased off the face of the internet. She was really jealous of these people. She didn't have that big of a following. Even before Dre, I think she had 28,000 subs. And now she's up to 80 because of the whole Dre mess, but...
Thank you, Nadia. You guys. This is the greatest thing I've ever eaten in my entire life.
Molly, you're the one that's brought up Shannon Watts today. Don't even get pissed that people are watching this shit. You brought it up. You're talking about Shannon Watts today. You did a video on it. So, you know, if we want to, you know, go back and experience the true Molly GoLightly experience, you can't get mad.
This is the greatest thing I've ever tasted. This is better than Reese's peanut butter cups in the refrigerator with crumbled Kit Kat mixed in ice cream. Oh my god, I could survive on these.
Gabriel says, want to point out, Shannon and the babies lost their lives 8/13 of 18. MGL did this 3 months later.
These taste so wonderful. I want it.
And thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
All over my body.
I don't even think it's funny at all. Like, I don't even think the routine is funny. Like, I've done stupid routines, but they were kind of funny. Like, there's no comedy here. She's not that great of a comedian as she thinks she is.
The Nutella? Put Nutella over my...
There's nothing funny about this, right? I mean, I can understand being a comedian, you know, in certain situations, you know, taking the comedy out of certain, like, you know, maybe like bad situations to an extent. But this isn't funny. Like, you're mocking these people. Like, you're mocking the way that they passed on.
Making
And
fun
I
of,
don't
yeah.
right. You're literally making fun of these people for this. Why? Because you're jealous.
It's the way they talk.
You know?
It's the way her kids are acting in the background. It's these things that she's trying to warp
Right.
into some kind of hilarity, as opposed to, like, if you recall when the lobsters were doing their shit, we would, you know, have a million skits that took what they were doing that was like cringy or negative to other people and flipping it around and making fun of it and being comedic that way. So it's like, I don't know.
My
I don't know
face
what to
into a
say.
Nutella beard. Oh, I can't. Oh, these bars. Chris is going to go crazy. He's going to kill me if I don't wait up for him.
There's another. So we got one. This is the second time she's made fun of Shannon for being killed. And
Yeah.
And then she's also made fun of one of the kids for dying. So we're up to number 3.
And here's the thing is that supposedly the live chat saying that Molly came out and supposedly claimed that she apologized for all this, right? So here's the gig, right? If you've done this heinous of an act, this heinous of a mockery of someone dying and the kids dying and all this kind of stuff, you don't get to come back and comment on this anymore, in my opinion. Like, if you want to apologize, then you stay the hell away from this topic forever.
No, exactly. Like, I was talking today in Discord about whether somebody, if they apologized for something extremely heinous they did, if it would matter. And I was talking about the R report. And I said that in order for them to prove that they really were sorry for doing that, everyone involved should never talk about that person again, apologize directly to that person, delete all of the content that they profited off of that person, and actually do things to show that they are serious about, the topic at hand and being sorry about it. Just like what could she do? Apologize to the surviving family, apologize to Shannon herself and the children. She could promise never to speak on serious subjects of this caliber, like murmurs and things like that, ever again, and she could delete any content from before. That's not what she did. She only apologized in order to bring down the amount of hate she was getting, and I can prove it because 2-3 years later, she's doing the exact thing to Dre that she did to Shannon Watts. But with Dre, she learned a lesson. She learned in order for people to accept her making fun of Dre, she first had to turn Dre into the murmurer ahead of time. The very first thing she had to do was convince people that Dre had done this to Marvon and had starved the children to be that way they'll accept her making fun of Dre. And she did that, and people did.
Right? Birthday cake. I'm trying to think. Do I like the oatmeal raisin or the birthday cake? See?
You know, it just comes off as if you're extremely jealous of her because, if I could review health bars to my audience, and I would be honest about them. I'd be honest if they tasted good or not, or if they worked or not. But anyway, I could review them to my audience, sell a shit ton of them, and make a lot of money because my audience chose to buy them and liked them and kept buying them. I would do it too. But Molly, you know who else would do it? You. In a fucking heartbeat. You just never had an audience big enough to get any deals. Like, remember, she's under 5,000 subs when this happened. And then it was like when she started on Dre, she was either right under 30,000 or right at 30,000 subs when she started going at Dre. So you got to remember, this isn't Molly with 50 or 60 or 80,000 subs doing this. This is a YouTuber with a couple thousand subs doing this.
See, honey, what do you like?
Spoonie Cindy, all we got to do is say our prayers and cross our fingers because Team YouTube has her worst violating material in their hands.
It's terrible. It's a horrible thing what I'm doing.
What'd she say?
Raisin or the birthday cake? Cece, honey, what do you like? It's terrible. It's a horrible thing what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's a horrible thing what you did. You were chased off the internet for doing this, but somehow today you dox a innocent family for moving into the Chris Watts house. You incite your audience to attack the living shit out of them until they're forced to delete all of their social media channels. Their Facebooks and everything else. Gone. Blink. And it happened right after you did it. And they'd had those accounts for a long time.
This is a glorious Freudian slip by Molly revealing herself truly. She knows that everything she just did and this whole mocking of this woman who passed away and the kids and everything else is a horrible thing. She's pretending as if like she's being, Shannon and saying it's a horrible thing. No, she's admitting that she knows that what she just did, this whole little skit, is a horrible thing. And she knows it and does not care.
I do think she's talking herself here. She could still be mocking herself and pretending to be Shannon. I don't know. There's a part of me that thinks she actually is, oh my God, this is horrible. Like, I think she might be speaking as Molly, but it's a flip of the coin because she did it right next to it. Mods, please move these last links to the Molly room for me, please, if you will, because I'm going to need them. Now, we've got the interview with the father of Shannon Watts, who, because of what Molly did and what Molly's friends were doing, made a press conference. Let's hear what he had to say.
Hello, I am Frank Rusek. Last summer, on August 13, 2018, my daughter Shannon Watts and her children were murdered. They were killed by Shannon's husband and the children's father, Chris Watts. I can't possibly describe how painful the last 11 months have been for my...
I couldn't imagine. His granddaughters and daughter were violently taken from him. And not only that, Molly GoLightly and a bunch of her friends went around mocking them, stalking them, bullying them, and started to put out content that they put out to this very day, some of them, that Shannon Watts actually deserved it and was the one who did it to the children.
Myself, my wife, and my son Frankie Jr. And for everyone else who cared so much about Shannon and her children.
This is the damage Molly has on people. Don't think that Dre wasn't devastated and just put a face on for those last videos she did to try and fight back against what these people were doing, hoping that people would find it and see the truth, right?
Well, let's not forget Shannon was pregnant as well, right?
Yeah.
At the time.
But Dre was devastated, torn apart, and put those last videos out. This man is devastated and torn apart. The last thing they want to have on their mind are a bunch of strangers bullying them on social media. But both Dre and this man have had to speak out against Molly, and they still won't stop. They won't stop. They won't stop because if they do, they don't make views. They don't have content. If they do any normal content, if they don't do this, they don't get money.
Just dealing with this type of tragedy is more than a family should bear. But I am making a statement today because for the past 11 months, piled on top of pain and the grieving of this devastating loss, our family has been subject to horribly, cruelly abused, outright bullying, and on a daily basis.
Now, Molly doesn't just do it herself. There is a part of the pool, the part of the thing that causes people to support these people is because they start to be led by them, incited by them, step out of their normal boundary, and follow in the footsteps of what they're seeing these YouTubers do. Because these YouTubers brand what every other human being on the face of the damn planet agrees with is bullying, harassment, and they brand it as heroism and justice. And justice and heroism will never hurt other people. It'll never involve you doing what they did to Dre or Marvon. It'll never involve you doing what they did to Shannon Watts. Okay? That's literally victimizing someone. It's not, but that's just what they do. That's the way life is. Unfortunately. People can go out, and if they just say that they're doing the opposite of what they're doing, some people will just believe it. It's just there are just really sheepy people out there and they aren't shaken awake until other people stand up and show the evidence. It does take nonsense and myself and others to commentate on these things to get people to kind of look at this and go, hold on, am I not considering that they might be lying? That their protests might actually be harassing the locals and the family that's left over from this tragedy? Could it be that Letitia was never in Marvon's life? Could it be that the couple times she was allowed access, she ripped them off financially, ran off with the money, and left them high and dry to deal with the damage and recuperate from it? And now she's trying to do it again with her last hurrah? And that because we're being lied to by Molly that, you know, she's got a window to do it? Right? And once they see the evidence, they know. This is why at the beginning of this video, you'll now realize that what I said to Flava really does relate to what I'm showing. My show goes full circle. Because I don't know why people keep letting Molly get away with this. I don't know why Flava keeps letting Molly get away with this. I don't know why it's not trying to get to the bottom of something and prove something and then hold her feet to the fire on it. But it does matter. This is why. Whatever she's doing, whether it's money, whether it's the subscribers and attention, whether she is, you know, after you pay her on Patreon, giving you some attention when your life is not going so good and you need something to keep your mind off of things, I don't know. But making deals with the devil, not ever going to help you with anything in your life. It's not going to get you any further along. And I'm sorry, none of this is good. It is all evil. This is all evil. This is driven by selfishness. It's driven by a personal gain. It's driven by shaming others, putting down others. And Shannon isn't even around to defend herself. Dre isn't even around to defend herself because her attorneys have told her she can't do it. Attorneys have told her if you do it, then you're going to rob yourself of protection and you're going to rob yourself of an opportunity to get justice. So of course she can't do anything. It's like Shannon Watts is in the ground. She can't help. She can't defend herself against these people. So what happens? Her father steps up. Very true, Wicked. And her father steps up and he says, "You're bullying my family." Regardless of what you think about Frank or whoever, whatever, what was that guy's name who did it? Ted or Frank? The guy, the murderer.
Chris.
Regardless of what you think of Chris, family didn't do anything, so stop bullying us. Why do people want to bully the father? Why do people want to bully the other family members? I don't understand. But after watching a little bit of Molly GoLightly, I know why it's happening. It's because if they get in the way of the money machine, the monetization of the bullying of these victims, then they're the bad guy. Why else do people get bullied? Why did she try to bully us? Why did she go after the dono gals? Why did she go after the people that wanted refunds, the people that wanted to ask questions about, you know, the Letitia fundraiser when she was filing? Why did they dox and go after them and shame them and show their houses and make fun of their lives and bully them? To try and protect that bag. That bag of cheddar cheese. And those dirty rats love that cheddar cheese. Chris Watts predictions. Ask GoLightly. November 18th of 2018. You know what they're showing right here? That Molly put it under the Creative Commons attribution license, which means you can't copy strike this. This is proof that you allow the reuse of this. Reuse allowed. Literally, somebody could upload this entire video and you wouldn't be able to copy strike them because of the license you've chosen. Happy Thanksgiving, Ozzy Trisha. I understand. No, I get it. It's over, though. No, that's over. That's over. But I want to hear a tiny little bit more of what the father has to say.
I don't want to draw more attention to the viral material that has been posted online. And so I want to go into, I don't want to go into specifics. But I will say that our family, including Shannon and her children and our grandchildren, have been ridiculed, demeaned, slandered, mocked in the most vicious ways you can imagine.
You know what he just said? Mocked. Slandered. Mocked viciously. He is definitely talking about Molly GoLightly. She dressed up as her, bought Shannon's stuff she sold, merchandise, okay? And then mocked her and mocked the kids. Twice made fun of Shannon dying, once made fun of one of the kids dying. And if you don't believe me, you can go look this video up, go right around here and listen to her joking about how the kid's going to break their neck falling off the couch. I don't know if Molly knows, but when you get strangled, your neck does break. So, yes, you are making fun of that child's death, factually.
We have been subject to false accusations, fake Facebook accounts, hate speeches, and constant stream of ugly, evil, insults, and attacks.
Evil. There is no other word to describe this. They're doing it because these people died. These people are literally on the side of the victim, the children. She was pregnant. They're not on the side of the murderer. But they targeted them. This is literal proof that Molly targeted the victim. Victim's family, not the murderer. So how does it make sense? Right? And you're going to say the same thing in a few months or a year when we look back at the Marvon and Dre case. You're going to say the same thing. More evidence is going to come out. Eventually, Dre will come back. Eventually, either her lawyers or herself will do something and either speak about this or file some kind of charge or file some kind of lawsuit. They might just speak on it, though, but eventually, the same way she was looked at for doing this to this family by everyone on the internet is the same way she's going to be looked at for Dre. The one thing she doesn't want, though, is for this video to be seen. This one. You know those Facebook groups and those other groups that you know she goes around to try to get views from that have like people in there who defend her and Letitia? They don't know about this. They have no clue. They think that the whole Dre thing was the first time Molly did this. And that people that say that Molly does this to families all the time, those people are lying on Molly.
Oh no, Chris is around. I gotta go.
Every time we turn around, there is someone trying to capitalize on our tragedy.
Capitalize on the tragedy.
By spreading false rumors and outright lies about Shannon and our grandchildren. We have been subject to threats on our lives, all because we are victims in painful tragedy.
You're victims. You know the guy that she mentions in the beginning of this video, sending her this shit. His last video, he's calling Shannon a bitch and going at her because they are Shannon haters. And it's years and years later. Years and years later.
Asking for forgiveness for putting the stickers on my chest like a idiot. And just thinking about those little girls and stuff and what he did to them and just what a pig he was. And of course, the camera footage of her rushing into that house as if she knew something was wrong.
Notice how she trying to make excuses for the video we just played.
And that's the last time we got to see her.
This is from today. She deleted it, but it's from today.
Alive. And I looked through that window And it was a little
You are one of the people, Molly, that was most responsible for this family coming out and demanding people stop harassing them. You were the prime and premier mocker of Shannon Watts. And years later, she's got the damn nerve to sit on a stream. And yeah, she got a lot of pushback for it. Got a lot of heat for doing this today. And deleted the video pretty quick, comparatively. But if you listen to what she says about Shannon Watts in the house, and then you go back and listen to the amount of time she talks about herself and how she's affected and how she is this and she is that.
surreal because we saw so much of her.
Gabriel says he hired lawyers. He goes on to talk about YouTube and what a nightmare it's been to work with these platforms. I wonder if he'd want to come on and talk sometime.
Life. And
I'd love to host him.
when I say her, I think the main focus really was her because she was the one that shared. And for me, it was always really hard to look at him because he's such a slime bag.
Notice how she's lying here. You defended him. You made fun of Shannon Watts and said that she was so annoying that he had to do it. And now you're going to say that he's a slime bag and all this and completely 180. You are a liar. You are such a fucking liar. You can't even be honest about what it is you said and did back then on this story. You want to act like you just changed your mind after months and months and months and months, video after video after video, doing this shit to that family. All of a sudden, when everybody leaves your channel and you get in a lot of shit and you get canceled, you immediately did a 180 in your head. Now you feel this way. I don't buy it. I still think you feel the exact same way about Shannon Watts because you treated Dre the exact same way you treated Shannon Watts.
You know what I'm saying? He was such a slime bag to do what he did. He was such a wimp.
Can you not tell Navy how she's overplaying it? No?
No, 100%. Yeah. I mean, and here's the thing that gets me, and someone mentioned it earlier in live chat, is that we just watched a video of her making fun of Shannon and everything they have and all this kind of stuff, right? And now she wants to come back all these months later and act as if she was like, on their side. And I just can't believe this. And it hurts my heart and this, that, and the third. No, you don't get to do this. Right.
Yeah.
You don't get to play both sides. Right.
You can
as
hear
if
it.
you were this like good person.
You can hear it in her voice when she's talking about him. It's not that she's giving some actual opinion and shit. She's trying to say what she thinks everybody wants her to hear, wants to hear from her in regards to Shannon Watts. She wants to say the opposite of what she said back then that whole time and hope which honestly, somebody also in the chat said, damn, Molly must be losing a lot of patrons and subscribers because for her to come in with this topic, that kind of proves she's really desperate for stuff to talk about. And I do agree. Yeah, I kind of do.
Well, and the thing is, we talked about this a couple times. The reason why she brought up the whole, fake Marvon death thing and stuff like that is because her little actions with others, right, that she goes out and does are being scrutinized and like heavily monitored by the cops. So she has to reach out to these older stories to kind of like keep people watching her. And that's exactly what this is. The whole thing with, her talking about, Marvon passing, which was fake, right? And then now bringing this back up is to try to keep people watching her because everything else, she can't go out and do the quote unquote, and I say quote unquote because they're not protests.
Yeah, bro, she pinned a comment that says Shannon and her unborn baby's spirit will comfort the new couple and their children. And she pinned it. She fucking pinned it. I don't understand how she can even believe in spirits and the afterlife while acting like such a vicious demon in this life? I don't understand. Why would you show this and do this? Just to send people their way? Yes. Yes. That's why. They had to delete their accounts. Molly had to, go in and fucking... Whoa, she didn't delete this video. She deleted the one she did before it. Very happy the family bought the house. My viewpoint is there's more of Shannon and the children's energies embedded in the home than Chris's. She worships Buddha and Jesus, says K Smalls. So I don't understand if she does, then she must believe in an afterlife. So I just don't understand how she's so evil all the time.
Apparently, she's also claimed to be a Scientologist. Like, this woman claims to be as many religions as she has occupations. So who the hell knows? She'll claim whatever's popular at the time to, I guess, adhere herself to, whatever she's trying to do, right?
This person says any info on who the realtor was. What? Why do you care? It's not your home. Are you going to call them? Are you going to go visit? I hope
to find
not.
out what? That they sold this? They had to. So here's the thing. They had, because of everything that's been brought to it from YouTube and everywhere else, right? They've had to, basically sell this in private, right?
Ugh,
because they
yeah,
knew it was going to bring
but-
media attention and YouTube attention.
Sure.
And so
that's why Molly did it, to blast it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to start shit and to cause harassment. The babies may have moved on by now. When those videos were taken, it was shortly after they died. I saw Celeste running up those stairs and Shannon sitting with her babies at the table as spirits. You can even hear voices talk through the police videos. Even Chris himself said it was a ghost town and he was scared himself. I think they weren't able to move on yet, but I think they're in heaven now, God knows. He knew they needed time to come to terms with their deaths. Maybe they will do wonderful memorial of them. That would be beautiful. Lauren says, you see what I mean, Uni? After watching that video mocking Shannon, who could take her fake sincerity seriously? She talks like she was BFFs with her. Well, she does that because she knows that how much pushback she got for treating Shannon this way. And this is just one video, people. She didn't just come out with one video doing this to Shannon Watts. She did this the entire time. She was one of the most profiteering and purveyor of the conspiracy theories about Shannon being annoying, and that's why Chris did it, and that Shannon did this to the kids, and then Chris had to do it to her in order to save the kids, and that's why Chris did this. And they were the purveyors of all of this garbage. And if you just replace the Shannon Watts situation with the Dre situation, so take the things they did and said towards Dre, the motivations they had when it came to money and super chats and payments and all this, and then transfer it into the Shannon Watts situation, and you'll get a good picture for what they did back then. And you can watch the video I'm making about all this to see all of the times Molly's done this to people. It's just a pretty complicated video to put out, but part one will be out really, really soon. I already did the intro, so the last video wasn't part one. The next one is, but anyway. And Gabriel said there's all kinds of conspiracies that the house was dark, like that caused Watts to do what he did. The exploitation with this case is never ending. Oh, you don't know how many psychics that I saw talking just in old searches, because I did searches around this topic about a month ago when I asked you guys about Molly's worst moments that you wanted me to look at. And I saw psychics, and I saw one who was constantly losing shit. Like, this one psychic could never find her keys, could never find her camera, kept getting locked out of her accounts online. If you're a psychic, you should know your passwords. If you're a psychic, you should know where these things are. Use your psychic energies to find your camera. You're not that good of a psychic. But I don't want Molly to get away with this. Molly's trying to convince people. And I think that it does have to do with family and Thanksgiving. I don't think she just chose to dox the living shit out of these people and, get them harassed to living hell today for no reason. I think that Molly gets in a headspace around these types of family holidays where her jealousy towards these people comes back up in her head, and it makes her revisit this content in these strange ways. When people look at her showing this house, showing this family, doxing their social media accounts, because you did. Yes, but the pictures were out there. So people didn't need to know where they could go and leave messages for these people. People didn't need to know where they could go and find their names and search them out and shit. And that's what you gave people. And that's why they deleted their accounts. Doxing is not based on whether or not information is public on the internet or not. That's the biggest lie that content creator doxers will give you. Doxing is based on the intent of the person who showed the material. So if I go out and show you right now a home, and it's part of a documentary, and I'm interviewing the people there, and I'm out front of it, and I'm like, hey, how do you like living in Vancouver? Because it's a documentary on Vancouver. I did not just dox them. Nobody would say I doxed them. It wouldn't even be a thing. But if that same house and that same family I got pissed at, so I pulled up their stuff and started shit talking them on the internet, and they got harassed to hell by people that were in my audience, that's a dox. It's the intent. It's the nature. It's your thoughts, your decisions that bring you to talk about what you're showing. Whether or not doxing is based on maliciousness or the intent of the person, it has nothing to do with the data you're showing to some extent. So yes, sometimes it matters if you're showing like private information from someone. Even if you don't have intent, you can still be a doxer. If you show extremely private data like addresses and phone numbers and stuff, but maybe you're just too ditzy to know that you're doxing them, it's still a dox out of ignorance. You see what I'm saying? But my main point is, when we have to ask ourselves whether a content creator is doxing or not, why did they obtain the information? Why are they sharing it? What are they doing with it? Right? Is there a potential for what they're doing? Could they have done something different that could have taken them mere seconds so that they could, blur out the private account names and the names of the people and the home so that they could talk about what they're talking about without doing this? And in this situation, it's absolutely a dox. But just to make sure you understand why Molly said it's not, she said, those pictures are public, so I can show them. So you know. So let's get back to this video. So, I don't want to show the actual screen, but go ahead.
Right. Lauren hit me up and said that there's a video of Molly saying that Shannon caused Chris watch the snap in the
do we have that in the scamming room?
It's in the scamming room. Yeah,
that I've heard about many of these. And just do me a solid, when you guys find these, hook me up, okay? Put them in the scammy room, because this is really good stuff, content wise, to show. Oh, it's from K Smalls. MGL says Shanna's caused MGL. Why am I? Oh, I'm on rockAlot. I'm subscribed to K Smalls on UNIRock, just not here. I am now. MGL says Shannon caused Chris to snap. So let's see here. Let me find the source material here. So it looks like K Smalls gives a bit of a lead up to it. If you want to hear everything K Smalls has to say, I'm going to tweet it at UNIRocktv on Twitter. Make sure you're following me over here on Twitter, y'all. Because I do a lot of streaming there, and I update you guys on like breaking news and stuff. And all of these streams are archived to Twitter. So we're live on Twitter right now, just in case you want to watch off the platform for some reason. I don't know. Yeah, a lot of breaking news, like Molly doxes the people who bought the Watts family house. They got harassed out the yin yang, and then she comes back and claims she didn't do it. No joke. We'll cover it in the next stream. So I didn't plan on streaming tonight. I just kind of felt like it all of a sudden, and I started the stream.
Come on. Come on. Don't tell the world that you're so happy because of your job. Your job is...
I want you to listen to what, and I'm so glad K Smalls uploaded this. Banger. Absolute banger, K Smalls. Well, you should be monetized. There's nothing wrong with getting that monetization going. You got 15K, go get it. Go get it. But let's I want you to listen to what she's saying about Shannon. Way she's talking about her compared to what we just showed you from today, how oh, I love her so much, and oh my God, and blah, 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 and and this Chris is such a bad guy. Remember, the reason she was slamming Shannon this whole time was because she was defending Chris. So that's the thing that motivated Molly to be so, nasty towards Chris today. She overly was nasty, repeated herself a lot with what she said about Chris, because she knows she's got to iron that into the audience that's watching. After what happened back then, the amount of criticism, people still talk about this all the time, because it was Shannon not only being murdered, but then experience her, whether you're an atheist and you just think it's a reputation, or whether you're religious and you believe about her soul, it is literally Molly putting more hate and negativity on an innocent person that shouldn't have had this happen to them. And I have to ask myself, what kind of person does this?
Essentially ruined your entire family and took your fucking life. But now you're getting a glimpse into why people just snap.
Now you're getting a glimpse into why. So she's saying that the reason Chris snapped was because of Shannon and her behavior. So I'm going to go ahead and correct Molly real quick. This kind of abuse, this kind of demonic ass abuse, there's no excuse. No one deserves to be treated the way that Shannon was treated. The babies didn't deserve it. She didn't deserve it. You're wrong, Molly. And there's way more than that out there. We're literally not even hitting the tip of the iceberg. Don't worry, because I want to give you a Molly GoLightly iceberg sometime. But I'm going to tell you now, that is some hard shit. If you guys don't know what an iceberg is, it's a kind of video that seeks to give you the iceberg, right? Here's the ocean. The tip of the iceberg. So what'll happen is a YouTuber will create an iceberg video, and they'll give you all of the things that everybody knows about that YouTuber. So it'll be like 6 or 10 points that are just the main things that everybody out there will know if you say this YouTuber's name. And then they go deeper and deeper and deeper down the iceberg, giving you more and more details about, things that have happened. So with Darkside Phil, he's an e-beggar. He's the guy who left his camera on and masturbated on stream. There's like 4 other things you could say about him that would be the top of the iceberg or the tip of the iceberg. If you go down to this level, you'll get into some of his more popular things that no one talks about that are just, those bigger things. If you go down here, you're going to get into a lot of the nuanced e-begging and him and you see what I'm saying? So imagine instead of me doing this for Darkside Phil, I did it for Molly. And that's what I've been trying to put. That's one of the easiest videos to first do when we're trying to basically bring you a documentary style Molly video, is to go with an iceberg video. But I'm going to tell you, Molly is so prolifically this way that there's just, I don't even know how to start. I don't even know how to get there. Like, I'm going to have to basically just do the whole iceberg all at once because it's just too much. Like, there's too many examples of all of this. You know what I mean? But let's get back to this because it's probably getting late. Oh, yeah. And I've got to be up early tomorrow. So let's go ahead and get this through. So.
Such a wimp in every.
Spoonie says she had lupus, and as another Spoonie person, she poured her life into her job and life because it made her feel better. Like we aren't on autopilot or drugged out of our minds like you, Molly. Exactly, Spoonie. No, completely. And I get it. I get it.
Every way. But when...
By the way, we're back to the today video. Or it's from like 24 hours.
Picture like this comes up. And we see, a beautiful wife and a beautiful family. We need a...
The beautiful wife that you said was responsible for him snapping. The beautiful wife that you mocked. It's amazing how differently you talk about her now.
Reminder of we have to move on. And as a life coach, that's what I speak about with a lot of the people that I have coached in.
You're literally trolling us. bringing up the fact that you consider yourself a life coach with what I'm able to show you of what you've done in the last few years. You're literally trolling us.
5 years. 5. Oh, I think we're getting up there. Yeah. Yeah, we're getting up there. We need to learn to move on. We don't always get what we want. We want the house torn down. We want the park.
I knew it. I knew she wanted the house torn down. She literally lied to us in the beginning of this video, pretending as if
Again,
she's so happy it was bought, right? We knew it. We said it when we heard it. And now the truth comes out. She wants that damn house turned down. She wants this family harassed. She's mad at this family. So this is why she showed their faces and their social media accounts, their names, and all the information about them. It's why there are some people in the comments section asking who the realtor is, asking questions about them. This is why she did it, so that they get what they got. And they've already had to delete their accounts due to a barrage of harassment from Molly's viewership. And probably Molly, but God knows. She just said she wants the house torn down. And how? Who's paying for it? If you want the fucking house turned down, you're lying, by the way. It's a virtue signal. It's to damn please your viewership and the crazies in your audience. Well, look, she could have bought the house, Navy. She could have bought it.
I was about to say that. Buy it yourself. Yeah.
Buy it, then pay for it to be demolished, and then build the damn memorial. Because whoever owns it, the bank or the default from the fact that Chris went to prison and the others are all dead, you know, the bank is expected to take that hit. Well, what happens if the bank takes that hit? Everybody who uses that bank or works for that bank or the stockholders or the ownership of that bank takes a $500,000 hit. Now, they can't. It's not that they don't want to. It's that it's a literal fantasy thought process to say that a $660,000 home could just literally disappear off the market, and there is a person out there who's going to take all of that loss so that a memorial can be built that has to be maintained, that has to have taxes paid on it every year, which is going to cost probably $20,000 a year just to have the memorial there. So why is it that these people that want the house demolished didn't buy it and demolish it? Because they're lying to you. It's a virtue signal. It's fake. It's just another reason for them to sit and harass the people and to go. They literally harassed Shannon after she died at that house. And they threw all of their hate towards Shannon after she passed away at that house. And they literally, factually harassed the previous family of that home. And now that a new family is in there, they want to replace. That's why Molly's saying you got to move on. Yeah, we know you moved on. You moved on and took the vitriol and harassment you spewed at Shannon Watts, and now you're aiming it at this family just because they're living there.
Park, that house, blah, 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 blah. Well, I think this. No, yeah, we're getting up there.
Listen again.
We need to learn to move on. We don't always get what we want.
See how she's like, if you were in her audience, the audience knew, the core audience knew to go harass these people. What do you think they're making of you need to move on? From harassing Shannon and them, have a new target.
Right. Like, you know, I didn't get what I wanted. Really what you're saying is I didn't get what I wanted.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Let's hear it.
100%. I agree with you.
Here it comes.
We want the house torn down. We want the park, that house, blah, 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 blah.
That's true, Case Smalls. She did have the same chairs as Shannon.
Well, I think this. No. If this woman and this man choose to raise their children in a stigmatized property, and that's where.
What? What? A stigmatized property. It wasn't.
That's pure entertainment. It's the most
Oh my
cringiest,
God.
purest entertainment, bro. Like the cringe you'll never find out there anywhere else.
So she is saying that you are not allowed to live anywhere that someone got a boo-booed, right?
Oh.
Because it's stigmatized property.
So why doesn't she throw fits about the schools in Florida that had those bad incidents? Why doesn't she throw fits about banks or, you know, I mean, anywhere where this? Why does she only pick Shannon Watts' house to throw a fit about this? You know, I gotta hear it again, bro. It's too
Stigmatized property.
It's insane. It's pure insanity. It's like, listen, guys, me, Molly, I want to harass the people at this house. You know, she's starting to convince me of evil powers and demonic possessions, because her demonic ass is being drawn to demonically demonize the people that live in this house. There's something real about this shit.
Is that if it was an aspect, and I can't even do this as like playing like the devil's advocate on this. If it was a house that had been around for like 150 years and there was a stigma to it, where there was like a haunting or something like that, this house had a recent history of some horrible shit that happened. That's it. It's not stigmatized, you dumb cow.
I don't get it, bro. I gotta hear it again. Let's
This woman
hear it.
and
Hold
this
on.
man choose to raise that house, blah, 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 blah. Get what we want.
So now we know why she doxed this family.
We want the house torn down. We want the park, that house, blah, 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 blah.
You know, you don't want that, by the way. You liar. Because you could have put the money up. You could have took a mortgage out on that house. You could have destroyed it. She literally said if she had the house, she'd make it into an Airbnb.
Well, I think.
So why are you pissed at these people? Because you were lying in the beginning of the video. Now your real self is coming out.
No. If this woman and this man choose to raise their children in a stigmatized property, and that's where they want to live, oh my God, you're a life coach? Yes, for 5 years. Absolutely. Want to?
Yeah, it's
bullshit.
You're really not. You're conning people on Patreon to give you $50 a month so that you can pretend to be their life coach. You're not a life coach. Literally.
Wait, how much do I pay a month to be your mod?
She's not a life coach. Nothing. She's a death coach.
Exactly.
She goes around graveyards hunting for stories that she can exploit, and she coaches people into harassing the dead. She's a death coach.
Great.
That's going to be the name of my video. Molly GoLightly, the death coach.
That's their choice. It's about moving on.
What? Then why are you... Nothing she just said stacks. She brings up reasons to go harass them and hate them. And then she says, but you gotta move on. I truly do believe she is instructing them with that kind of background speaking where she's saying things that she knows her audience is going to understand, the long-term audience, that other people will look at and be like, yeah, she's telling them to move on. So I think she's telling them to move on from what they did to Shannon Watts, to move on to this new family because they chose to move into a stigmatized home. I think that's what I just heard. And I have evidence to back it up because literally that family got harassed to all hell after Molly did this.
She's now blaming the parents who bought this house of subjecting their children to a stigmatized home.
They love their children enough to pay almost $700,000 for this home for them to live in. But somehow they're doing something wrong by doing that because...
This is a pattern of her attacking families.
Now, we don't know anything about this family. We have no clue. They could be from California or Washington State. They could be from Canada. They could be from Mexico. Right. We don't know where they've been. We have no idea if they've been out of the country for 10 years working on some project and have no idea what happened, even though, you know, will the realtor really get into detail? Like, here's what a realtor probably said. Hey, we've been in working in Europe for 10 years and we found this house that's like, why is it so cheap? Well, there was a murder there, but you know, we've cleaned it up. It looks great. You know, no reason to worry. And they probably got talked into buying that house for a good price. You know, if I was the realtor and Molly supposedly was a realtor, she should know that the realtor is going to sell this house to them, minimize what happened, and get them in there to buy it. So, you know, and someone said that it was on the market for a couple of years, which makes sense because I don't know how long the police would hold the property, probably less than a year. But it's been 3 years since this happened. On the market, yeah. So yeah, 3 years it's been on the market, which tells us that there's a reason it was reduced in price, and they have been looking and looking and looking for someone to buy it.
I just realized something, Uni.
What?
So her whole thing about tearing it down, turning it into a memorial, would allow her to come visit it and replay this stuff on YouTube. She can't do it if the house is still there and there's a family living there because it's private property.
There you go.
She can't go on there without the cops getting called.
It'd be some content for her every time she wants to do one of her little, you know, cross-country protest marathons.
Exactly.
There. Yeah.
Mhm,
Now she
mhm.
can't.
And she can't. Nope, she can't because there's a
And-
family living there. It's not, that's private property. She's going to get arrested.
And there's
If it
people
was
in
a
the
memorial,
comments.
yep.
They're literally saying that they've analyzed Molly's footage because Molly recorded through the windows, and that they saw Shannon and the kids sitting on the table through Molly's footage. So it's like she's hooking people on and really leading them. And it's almost getting culty. I'm starting to understand why people call her a cult leader. Because if you'd imagine, now I'm not saying she is one. It takes a lot of research to be able to prove that there's an online cult. But it's very much borderline when she's trying to exploit ghosts and people that have passed on and a stigmatized home and the content she does and the fact that these people have had these events happen. It's getting there.
And with this, I say, bless this family.
No, you
And
don't.
maybe Shanann would have wanted. Think about what Shanann would want.
Is her name Shanann or Shannon? Why did she call her Shanann?
I've always heard because she doesn't know how to read words.
No. She's her best friend.
It's Shannon. It's Shannon Watts.
It's
Shannon
Shannon
Watts
Watts.
is her name. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
but
not
what-
spelled like
Shanann?
a regular Shannon. It's
Yeah,
spelled
but
differently,
it's got
pronounced
two ends.
Shannon.
It's only got two ends. But it's Shanann. So she's trying to say that it's Shanann, like, hey guys, I'm Molly. I was her best friend. I know her nickname. It's Shanann.
Think about how hard Shanann Watts worked on that house. Do you think that Shanann, if she could be here today, would want her house torn down? She probably wouldn't. She probably wouldn't want her house torn down.
You wanted it torn down.
You're the one who did this whole tear down the house thing. I swear she's trying to mind fuck us.
And she probably would want
She's trying to gaslight us all so hard that it mind fucks us, dude.
someone to
We've seen this
So
before.
come in.
apparently it's pronounced Shanann. I'm getting a live
Shanann?
chat telling me it's Shanann. Yeah. Apparently she changed it and it's pronounced Shanann.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Are you positive? Because I'll start saying it that way.
That was probably
Make
just
sure
like
you
her.
let me know.
You know, that put time and love into her family and take care of it. And can you please mute that, Adrian, please? I'm showing the picture. Can you see it? Can you see the picture?
Who's she talking to? Isn't that her kid, Adrian? Sounds like she's talking to a puppy dog. Can you see the picture? Can you see the picture?
Adrian is Walter, her husband.
Why is he named Adrian then? If his name's Walter.
Because I think
Okay.
it's like a middle name or
It's
something.
like Adrian
or it's like-
Walter.
his first name
Right?
is Walter and his middle name is Adrian, I think, and she just calls him
Walter
Adrian.
Adrian. Oh, that's exotic.
No, Chris does not own the house. No way.
Guys, I have a really, really crazy sense of humor. I'm sorry. I find that joke hilarious.
He's in jail. It was a
It's an exotic name.
bank-owned property. It was a bank-owned.
What makes you think that a bank can literally afford tearing down a $660,000 home and eating the cost of it? Do you think banks just have that shit laid?
No.
She does. She does think that banks just have that money. Well, they've got a safe full of money in the bank. They can afford that. Literally. This is what this woman thinks. That's why she pushed that whole let's tear it down and build a park thing for so long, is because, you know, she thinks that the bank can just eat that shit. You know?
owns property.
She has no clue how it works.
You get arrested. You go to jail. It's not your house. And the thing is no matter what
did
you go to
she
jail.
say?
It's not your house. It
What did she say?
was a bank-owned property. You get arrested. You go to jail. It's not your house.
Get arrested and you go to jail, it's not your house. Yeah, they would take the house because he didn't own it. He was making payments on it. So that would default to the bank. The default would have went through, but it doesn't mean that you can just tear it down, obviously.
And the thing is no matter what our opinion is,
it's almost like, dude, I could listen to her and be just as entertained as watching like a shitty sitcom, at least. You know, and not even a shitty one, a pretty good sitcom, because she is so wrong every time she opens her mouth. It's just amazing. It's like, does she really believe that she's any kind of realtor, any kind of life coach, any kind of YouTuber?
Well,
I'm not even trying to be mean. It's like, how do I even pretend she's competent? You know,
we don't. And the thing is, like, you know, once again, like the whole aspect is that her actual goal in life was to be a reality TV star, right? We have to remember that,
yeah,
right? And so she is doing all this kind of stuff and making all these claims, because if you go watch reality TV, they make all these claims about, like, I'm this, that, and the third.
yeah.
And she does the exact same thing. Maybe she's upset with these women because she was a failed realtor. She couldn't sell shit, right? And then you have these women like Dre and
Shannon. They
Shanann.
sold a lot. Shanann sold a lot
They
of
were-
stuff.
Right. And they were able to sell stuff, which
They were
she is
saleswomen.
supremely jealous of, right?
She
Because
couldn't sell a
herself,
single house. She got kicked out of being
Man,
a realtor under a year, dude. You heard her.
yeah, she
couldn't
couldn't sell an
sell one.
igloo to someone in
To an
Alaska,
Eskimo.
right?
To a homeless Eskimo.
What your opinion is not going to change the fact that
I just busted out she couldn't sell an igloo to a homeless Eskimo. That's a desperate joke, y'all.
this family right here
It's a good one. It's a good joke.
is happy. They got fresh flowers and they're going to put life back into that house.
As you know, they buy it. Homeless Eskimos will buy those igloos quick. What? Molly?
It's a bank. It was a bank owned property. I don't understand what people don't understand about mortgages, liens, and bills. Yeah, I have an upper listen, I have an upper. Listen, I know what I'm talking about, okay?
Yeah,
No, you
we
don't.
know
No,
that
you
you have
don't.
an upper respiratory infection. It's because, like, when you were in that hotel, your upper respiratory was dealing with a heavy onslaught of something. You know what I'm saying?
Something.
To make you act crazy.
Mhm.
Something went into that respiratory system in a very strange way that caused you to. Oh yeah, you go for a week. You're gonna be trying to fight that shit. You got to repair. I told you, Uni. I think this is as sincere as she can get, and that's not saying much, unfortunately, for her. She does, K Smalls. Yes, it's sad too, because when I talked to her, I could tell that she had a sense that I knew what was up. If you go and listen to me talk to her, you can tell that she wasn't crying for no reason. And as much as people will disagree with me until the cows come home, and they always will, I do think there was a little tinge of, like, knowing that the disapproval from old school YouTube. I only go back to 2015, but that's still a long time. And my opinion is held by all the content creators out there about Molly. Like, there aren't any content creators that have existed on this platform that look at Molly and go, "He's doing great. He's doing fine." Like, and you know, at least that's what we hope for. We hope that when we see the channels that we watched back in 2015, 2012, even 2010, we want to say to ourselves, you know, whether they like the stuff I talk about or not, let's hope that they would think I'm doing good. Right? So I know that she knows no matter how hard she tries, she just messes it up. And criticism, Molly, isn't there to shame you. Sometimes it is, but it's not called criticism when it is. When you get a genuine person come by and they try to give you advice through all the insanity, which I've done through this entire mess, if you would just take my advice, reason this to people is because you doubt yourself. Don't think that if you were really you, the true you isn't someone who bullies Shannon Watts. That's just a lie that bullies tell themselves, try to convince themselves that they have to keep bullying. You can be you without doing this to people. You can be you without hurting people and harming people and doxing them and stalking them. You can be you without those things. There is anybody, not just Molly, just like Chris Watts. There can be a Chris Watts that doesn't exist who's not a murderous piece of fucking shit. He chose to be a murderous piece of shit. That's on him. It wasn't just him who did it. It wasn't because he's fated to do this. It's because he's a piece of garbage and chose to do it. So you yourself too, just because you're not going to the extremes that Chris Watts did, you need to be able to look at what you're doing and ask yourself, am I doing something positive or am I not? And you're not. And you know it. And there's one thing that could change it. And it's nothing that goes through your mind on a regular basis, because you're not going to be able to cheese the YouTube system. You're not going to be able to manipulate these people that believe you out of money while truly doing it. It's literally going to YouTube and paying some form of a toll for what you've done to these people through apology, change, never doing this kind of shit ever again, and actually doing content, being the real you. And you won't do it. Sad to say, people that go this far can't pull themselves out. They can't. I've bumped into so many of them. I've bumped into these people since I started. I've been through 1,000 Molly GoLightly's. Probably 10,000. I'm probably really underestimating it. And there is something that they all have in common. And it's not just that they all do this kind of shit to make money on YouTube by exploiting others, exploiting the death of others, lying about people, misinformation. It's the fact that they can't stop. They can't.
They don't want to.
You can go back and look, dude. I could name some, and I'm not going to. I literally could name somebody right now who I haven't talked about in 6 years, 5 years. They will appear tomorrow if I say their name. They are still the piece of shit that they were back then. And they're still caught in that same trap. They haven't evolved at all. They haven't gotten better, nicer, more entertaining, nothing. They're still, you know, I was told this genius thing once about abusing weed, okay? And no, I'm not going to talk shit on weed because I don't think that it affects you too negatively. This is just my personal opinion if you don't abuse it. But I was told this thing about abusing weed, and it was when I was trying to understand the stigma of it and whether it's good, whether you can smoke it or not, because a lot of people will do that whole like California sober. You smoke weed, but you don't do drugs, and it works for them. But what I'm trying to say is, someone told me once that when you smoke weed at a high amount, when you abuse it, it locks you in that place that you are, so that you never get better at anything. You never evolve. You're just locked in the state you're in. And I had a buddy that abused it for like 5 years, and it was dead on true. You put him right next to any of us, because there was like 12 or 20 of us in his friend group. Everyone else had changed and moved forward a little bit in life. And that person was the exact person that he was back then. So, you know, whether or not it's weed or not, I'm just trying to say there are things that lock you in place. And it's not just abusing a substance. It can be, by the way, I still use CBD just about every day. So I'm not against it, just so you know. I think it's your option. But anyway, there are other things that lock you into a state. And Molly's found one. Evil definitely does. Taking advantage of people definitely does. There's not just a commonality in, I always say this, I always bore you guys by saying, so I'm not going to give you the presentation. I'm just going to tell you a 10-second little thing, that when you do things that are bad habits or evil, they take advantage of people, anything under that rainbow, you got positive and you got negative. And the choices you can make. And they're not based on you, they're based on how it affects others. And if you choose this, something happens. It is that you will get caught in a habit without even trying. But when you choose the positive, you have to try to make positive stuff habitual. So the point I'm making is, not only when you do these negative things, when you do these like nasty, evil things and all this stuff, do you form these habits and you stay that way. You get locked into this, you get locked in a cycle. You don't evolve at all. You don't there's no getting better. When you do positive things, you're moving forward. When you do evil things or when you do bad habits, it's a loop, and you always come back either here or you come back before you start where you started. You get locked somewhere before where you started. And it's just a fact. It's why you see that people that do this stuff, they never fucking change. I wish I'd find the one out of the group that actually came out of it. One that doxed people constantly, harassed people constantly, lied on dead people, attacked and harassed dead people. None of them have come out of it, Navy. I can look.
Well, the thing is, Bubba, I think there was a person out there who was like that, who decided to give it up, right? They're probably not on YouTube anymore. They probably have quit social media because they know that that is the one thing that kept them going, and it was the
Well,
you know, the
yeah.
views and people seeing it. They're like, you won't see these people because they have realized that YouTube and social media are the thing that is their addiction when it comes to this. And so
I
they've
get
given it
that,
up,
but I'm
right?
also talking about, you know, where, like people that aren't doing YouTube anymore that from back then, or people that maybe got banned and they're on a smaller little platform and they only do it sporadically. I'm just talking to all the people that I've engaged with over the years. They're all in that same place, you know? And I've always had this stupid, naive hope that through criticizing them, they would come out of it. One of them would come out of it. And it's been 2016 to now. And yeah, I can't think of a single one. And Jordan Sather's on BitChute every day, still perpetuating the nonsense that he's espousing. Yep. You know, all of them are still doing what they were doing. So anyway, I don't think Molly's going to change. I don't expect her to, but I do want to document. I want a video out there that people click on and they go, you know, the same way they look at it, the same way they look at like Frederick Knutson's Down the Rabbit Hole series or any of these YouTube documentary things that you take an internet thing, internet culture, something that happened on the internet, and you tell the story from beginning to a certain point. They're like one of my favorite kind of videos to watch. Always has been one of my favorite kind of videos to make. I've always made them since the beginning. And I've looked everywhere to be able to click on a video that says, this is Molly GoLightly. Here's what she did, and to tell me, you know, what happened. And I just don't see it out there. That's my goal here. That's my goal with this. That's why we're still talking about her on the live stream. And I think we'll continue checking in on her like we do with the lobsters, like we do with the past fraudsters, right, like we do with previous stories. At some point, most likely after I put the video out. But and it's sad. Well,
the thing is that there has to be an opposing view, right? One thing is that you know, we talk about like, you know, social media and all this kind of stuff, the things that we hate that they rail against when it comes to like having an aspect of free speech, is that there has to be a counter to people like Molly GoLightly. There has to be a counter to things like the lobsters and all this kind of stuff. There has to be someone out there that says, I see that you've seen this, but let me show you the truth behind what they're actually doing. Let me show you the old stuff that you haven't seen, right?
Yeah, there does.
Let me explain to you how they are manipulators and con artists, and all they're doing is trying to take from you your time and your money, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, Navy, I gotta shut down. I got Thanksgiving tomorrow.
Oh, look at Cherie.
I just saw it. I'm gonna shout her out. But all right, man. I'll be down in general here in just a second.
Thanks for having me on, Bubba. Always.
Anytime, every time, all the time. Cherie, thank you so much. And I just wanted to disconnect from Discord so I can get this outro done, because if I don't do it, I'm going to be in here until 1 a.m. So yeah, it's sad. The first thing we talked about tonight was Flava. I didn't even mean to, honestly. I meant to bring it up. I didn't mean to bring up those pictures. I meant to give an opinion, but once I read that, you guys heard a little more. And we talked about how whatever she's doing, you know, I'm happy that Flava has a channel. I just want to make sure Flava understands that the path that where you go down, not being fully upfront and honest with the people that are watching you, will always lead something that's not good. Okay, don't want to become a Molly. I don't think you will. Though after that, we moved into the video that I just showed you that Molly deleted. She deleted, I think, either the first one or the one she did after the one we saw. So, and She got that video was controversial because she doxed them. She showed her audience where to find their social media and where they could contact them and where they could leave messages. And that family was so inundated with people hitting them, they had to delete their social media accounts, which is sad. And another thing is, if you listened to what Molly was saying, we juxtaposed it in with the video of Molly mocking Shannon Watts. You basically saw Molly lying, bringing up Shannon Watts, talking about everything that Molly, every perspective Molly's ever had can just change at the drop of a dime if it's going to cause the people that watch her not to get mad or give her money. And she basically didn't take any ownership. She bringing up Shannon, she didn't apologize. She didn't bring up that she shouldn't have done what she did. She actually attacked and mocked the people that got mad at her for what she did in that video early on that we showed you. But when you look at the way she did this to Shannon Watts, the one thing that reverberates through your brainstem is that she did the same thing to Dre. She just did it better. Last time with Shannon, she built Shannon into the bad guy later on and attacked Shannon more of a process. This time with Dre, by the way, Shannon and Dre share so many similarities. This time with Dre, she built Dre as an abuser and a murmurer from the very beginning and gave her the window into virality that she's been searching for since she started on YouTube. For a lot of money for the first time that she's really been on the platform. Luckily, a lot of that has been reversed as people started to notice what Molly was doing, like we saw a few days ago with her e-begging in the hotel in a very strange state. Actions like that have caused the people that were lulled in through her portrayal of the Dre situation to stop supporting her. Thus, also was a contributing factor into her choosing to talk about Shannon Watts again. I don't want to present an impossible situation for Molly GoLightly, as other people out there do for people who they talk about. What I'd like Molly to do is to be honest about what she did to Dre and Shannon Watts, and to be honest about Letitia. I would like her not to influence people like Flava to ignore the evidence, say that the Letitia fundraiser isn't a fraud raiser, isn't fraudulent, or isn't wrong, or they did the right thing on it. And I would like Molly to actually start caring about reality, caring about representing these stories in a way that's not so disrespectful, and for her to maybe even stop covering tragedies altogether if she truly doesn't want to have a bad outcome with her YouTube channel. But in fact, I'm not naive enough to believe that she's going to change, though, or that she would even try. I just know that we have to be able to offer people that we're criticizing the winning outcome for them to win. And it never truly is, because really for them to win, they have to stop doing the thing that makes them money and have to find some type of real content to do that doesn't include this stuff. They think someone's going to throw away a cash cow like this. But the problem is, taking advantage of somebody, lying on somebody, is the easiest way to make money. You could literally walk out your door right now and lie to anyone around you that you bump into and attempt to get money out of them. And it happens daily. It happens daily on YouTube, on these YouTube streets. It happens daily. So I guess, hopefully, we won't have another Molly situation to talk about here in a day or two. Those of you that needed to have an update and wanted to know what was going on with this video did it. I know that I now have more videos. I've got Molly mocking Shannon Watts and the children, and I've got Shannon Watts' father begging for it to stop, and I've got Molly saying that Shannon caused Chris to snap on her. It was Shannon's fault. along with many other videos and a good perspective on one of Molly GoLightly's first excursions into not being a life coach. Because a life coach coaches people to positive. Life coach doesn't take advantage of people. So what do you call somebody who actually goes and takes advantage of dead people and people that experience these kind of tragedies? The only thing I can think of is to give Molly the only accurate name that she deserves, which is the death coach of YouTube. See you tomorrow. UNIRock out. Hit the like button for me. Peace. 95,000 G. She's a death coach. Death coach of YouTube. I don't know. I'm trying. She's a death coach of YouTube. Molly's the death coach of YouTube. That's a little better. Death coach. You too, death coach. You too, death coach. You do death coach. Molly, don't be death coaching me. Death coach. To make up for my horrible singing of the Death Coach song, I will pay you rocks if you type or emoji before we leave. But I'm probably going to keep singing. I'm going to keep singing the Death Coach song. If you want the rocks, you're going to have to suffer through me singing more. Just letting you know. Okay, let's find a better beat for the Death Coach song. Hold on, I got one. I just got to find it. If you want free rocks, you have to type or emoji. They are free. If you want to support my show, I can't believe I forgot to say it all freaking night, but it's paypal.me/UNIRock, and it would really help if you want to support us, if you like what we do, which is to bust scams regardless of their form. Here we go. I'm going to give you 30 seconds while I try to find a better beat for the Death Coach song.
Molly's a death coach on YouTube. I don't know why she death coaches so much. She needs to stop death coaching on YouTube because it really sucks.
Okay, I'm done. I suck really bad at this. I'm not going to sing anymore.
Molly won't stop death coaching us. We just want her to stop being a death coach. Yeah.
Okay, that was really bad. Really bad. Now you know why I kicked the Navy out before I ended. I didn't want him to listen to me singing. My family member had a tragedy. Then YouTube went live with Molly. She talked about my family member and lied about them and made $1 million. She's a death coach. Molly is a death coach. Baby, Molly.
coach. Oh yeah. Molly is a death coach of YouTube.
Okay, I'm done. I'm paying the rocks and I'm out of here. Dear God, whatever you do, do not clip that damn song, please. I know Janie probably will do it, but someone's gonna clip me singing that song, damn it. Death coaches are the worst. They're gonna death coach your family into money for their pockets. They're gonna go through the graveyard, sucking up the souls with their big mouths. Death coach! Okay, I'm done. I'm really, really horrible at this.
I'm Larry as a death coach!
You know, I have to admit, though, her being a death coach really works. Like, at first I thought it might not work because I'm like, life coach, death coach. But she does coach the narrative of people's deaths to make money on the platform. So she's really earned her title of death coach, and I hope she wears it gracefully. Okay, I'm outie.